Boom.
This is Public Access, Part 2. Let's recap where we left off last week. So, our latchkeys, the Deep Lake latchkeys, as we have come to meet them, have moved into 26 Rodenbecker in their childhood hometown of Deep Lake, New Mexico, to investigate the mystery of TV Odyssey. More importantly, what happened to it, and also why does no one remember it, apparently. Not a lot of luck on that front so far, but in the last few weeks since they've moved in, they've gotten to know their town a little bit and then had their first mystery brought to them. A young man, a little bit younger than the Latchkeys themselves, Casey Wilcox, brought to their attention the matter of the house on Escondido Street, a sort of famous haunted house legend here in the town, and more specific to him, trying to understand what happened to the family who lived there back in the mid 90s, the Mendozas, because Casey was friends with the Mendoza's son, Elliot, and their mysterious disappearance has haunted him ever since, and he would like some answers. There's been a little bit of investigation done on that, and bizarre things have happened on both angles of that. Max and Sebastian paid a visit to the very small Deep Lake Municipal Library, had an odd encounter with the librarian there. They ended up getting locked in a microfiche room, and the lights got power was shut off. And Max almost freaked out. He ended up breaking down a door to get out. It was a little claustrophobic, but then they just booked it. Though they did find some interesting information, or at least a good lead on some. Meanwhile, Everett and Dahlia actually visited Escondido Street and broke in by means of the backyard. Though mysteriously, there actually was no breaking, and it was just entering, because the back door to the house was ajar, left open. They went inside, and in the basement, Dahlia found a scrapbook filled with pictures of, animal carcasses, mutilated animals, and kind of freaked her out a little bit. She ended up dropping her lighter, which was not a great light source to begin with, really, and plunged her into darkness. She had a whole, bumping around down there. She screamed. Because she screamed, Everett screamed. But Everett had definitely the more freaky interaction up there, because when exploring the TV room of Escondido Street, of 18 Escondido, I should say, realized that the VCR was on even though the house had no power, and tried to interact with it, though it was empty and it just said to insert tape. Though we did see another timeline that was avoided through the use of a key, where something came out of that TV, or rather, something was about to come out of that TV, it seems. The whole interaction freaked Everett out, and once Dahlia was, once he went and got Dahlia, they agreed they should probably leave. They should probably get out of here because this house seems to be the real McCoy. And then during our first night phase, our latchkeys got together to watch their first Odyssey tape, which was the Happy Jack tape. We Our night phase was spent out of chronological order with them watching the tape. We explored Max and Everett driving to the Big Sun convenience store for a snack run, where Max interacted with the local sheriff of DeGoy County, the very handsome Bill Hanscom. But on the drive back, had to avoid something that leapt in front of the car. And though he evaded it successfully, the axle in the car got a little fucked up. So that, the steering's not great at the moment, but you can get a good look at what happened, just something in the road. Back at the house, while Dahlia was making snacks, Sebastian was doing a bit of a murder board on with fridge magnets and pictures in lieu of any other sort of, deductive setup. But then the fridge started making very weird noises, like that of like a grinding tape in a VCR. And after giving it a good thumping, the fridge opened, and though the bulb was dimmed, kind of giving the whole thing like a sickly yellow color, nothing really was amiss, but a very strange waft of cigarette smoke just assailed him. No visible source of smoke, just the smell of it overpowering, just poured over him, whatever that means. And then at one point in the bathroom, Dahlia had a little look in the mirror and just had a sort of derealization moment. Though I'll make a slight retcon to what I said with your clue. The clue still stands, which is that while you're looking into the mirror, you like suddenly like opened your palm and like Smarties wrappers fell out. That still, I think let's go. I want to go a little less overt supernatural with that one necessarily. We'll just say that instead, like you realized your pockets were full of them. Like so, and that's fucking weird because you didn't haven't hadn't Smarties. Instead of you just like suddenly opening your hand and they fall out. I actually think that like maybe they did, but then you kind of realize, oh, my pockets are like where'd all these fucking candy wrappers come from? So I think that's a little bit more the take on doing that clue. Let's review conditions though. Talia has two chilled and bruised shins. Everett is also chilled and took the empty VCR condition. Max has torn hands from wrenching the steering wheel to avoid the thing in the road. And meanwhile, Sebastian has two irritated, which came of, I believe, just fucking around with the clue board and being like fucking like, ah. But also the smells like smoke condition, something about that's lingering with you. Um, Two of our latchkeys have marked their first keys of desolation, which allows them to do signals from the other side, which we'll touch on later. But effectively, as I mentioned last time, as these are all, between players, these are echoes. However, because you have now watched a tape, the Happy Jack tape, at any point, if you narrate something in your, phase cycles here that calls back to the Happy Jack tape, that counts as a signal from the other side. It doesn't just have to be in the night phase. That goes for anything that happens on any tape. You can always harken back to it in your real world, or you can put something from the real world into a tape. As long as you can, harken back to it and remind us this was the signal I was making, it counts. So very broad. But yeah, I think that covers everything where we wrapped up. We answered Dawn questions last time. And before we continue into the day phase, there's a couple things we have to do first. We are owed two clues. One is an Odyssey clue, and one is just a regular clue gained through the Odyssey tape. I'll re explain a little bit of this just for the sake of cohesion. But every time you watch an Odyssey tape at the end of the narration, the latch keys then collectively define an Odyssey clue based on the events of the tape. This Odyssey clue is for the TV Odyssey mystery to figure out what happened to TV Odyssey. The TV Odyssey question is simply what happened to TV Odyssey. It's complexity 6. And answering that allows you all to trigger the end game once it's answered. You'll cut right through the quick to the source of all the badness. So that said, these Odyssey clues apply just to that. So something on these tapes is revealing the nature of what's going on with this TV station. The other clue you guys owe is because the tape was played at the VCR in 18 Escondido, not in the fiction of the Latchkeys watching it, but in our meta as we watched it as players, we watched it on the screen of 18 Escondido. And when you watch an Odyssey tape at 18 Escondido, something in the tape is a clue for an active mystery. And you guys get to define what that is. Before we actually set those out there, like, oh, here are our clues, let's get a very brief scene here to wrap up the events of the Latchkeys back at 26 Rodenbecker watching the tape. Because you had all, Max and Everett came back from snacks. Everything's happened in the linear chronology of events. You all still did watch this tape, something you've been looking for weeks now, and you actually found one. It was Happy Jack. You put it in, you watch the events unfold, and then, just as abruptly as it really started, the tape clicks to a stop, and there's just a blue screen illuminating your faces as you watch from the living room. Let's get a brief scene, which is the Latchkeys after having watched their first tape together.
So That was
Um,
fucked up.
it's a
I
little
don't
weirder than I
remember seeing
remember.
that episode as a kid.
40 wax? Was that little girl possessed?
Like, totally remember that rhyme, but not necessarily in this context.
Yeah, I remember something about something just like that, but for some girl in Massachusetts or whatever.
Yeah, Lizzie Borden killed her parents, allegedly.
Never
Allegedly.
found the, never connected her to it really.
Got away with it.
The Happy Jack is freaky, right? It's not just me. It's a weird puppet.
Oh, it's definitely freaky. Totally not just you.
Wonder how many episodes they managed to get away with before they got canceled, if they got canceled.
At least six.
There's something about that though. Did they film that in a basement?
That looked like someone's house.
Yeah, totally. You can see the furniture peeking out from behind the cardboard cutouts.
Not a lot of basements in this town. Hang on a second. He gets up from his seat, storms downstairs to the basement he is currently living in. Gotta look around for visual clues. Oh god, was it filmed in
Oh
here?
my
Was it
God, is
filmed
it
in here?
our basement? I run to the
It better
he runs
fucking
to
not
the
be.
stairs and screams down. Is it our basement?
And so I will defer to you, players. Is the Odyssey clue takeaway that it was filmed in the basement of 26 Rodenbecker?
Uh, I feel like we should roll for this.
Oh yeah, yeah. It can be an Odyssey clue or it can be a fucking 18 Escondido clue. I guess it depends on how you want to spin it. Is this the direction we're thinking about? Maybe.
I
Yeah,
think
I
this would
love
be
that.
a good Odyssey clue right here.
I agree. I was thinking about it being on Escondido as like the clue for that one, but
I love it
that's a
being
little
here.
creepier if it's in our house and it's an Odyssey clue.
It's really
Actually,
creepy.
what if we roll to decide which of the two basements it was in, and that'll decide what it's a clue
Yeah.
for?
I
Odds
mean,
and evens, if you want
I'm
to
fine
roll.
with this. And I will just say, by the way, you could also decide that if you went with like, oh, it's the basement of 18 Escondido, that could still be an Odyssey clue, which would then tie things into it, or it can be, do it however you want. I love wherever this is going. Whatever you guys think is cool. I'm here for whatever.
Okay. Um, so how do we roll for this?
Odds are house, evens Escondido.
Okay.
You go ahead and roll.
Okay. Here we go. 4 and 3 is 7.
Odds. It's our place.
Horrifying. Thank you.
And that's where Sebastian's
Uh,
staying. Sebastian's room is in the basement.
shit. Can we move,
Interesting.
guys?
Still yelling down the stairs. Is it ours?
So, Sebastian, I will ask you, as the latchkey whose room is in the basement of 26 Rodenbecker, even though, the base, it's totally different now, whether through renovation or just the fact that it's not decorated and all done up. What aspect of the basement is the most obvious match? Like, how does it reminisce it so closely that you know without a doubt this is the basement that it was filmed in?
I think it's the pipes up in the ceiling, like the gas pipes or plumbing, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
It, from the right angle, it matches up with what the shot caught before they brought the camera back down.
All right. I will make a note that the Odyssey clue from watching Happy Jack '06 Duress Signal, Pure White Pretext, is that the it was filmed in the basement of 26 Rodenbecker.
Horrifying.
Yeah. But that's not all. Something else in the tape catches your attention. It is going to be a clue for the house on Escondido Street. So you can collectively define one thing inspired by what you saw on the tape. And it may not even necessarily be something on the tape is like a direct connection to 18 Escondido, it could be. But it could also just as easily be like, oh, something based on what you saw inspires an idea for, a missing piece of the puzzle or something like that. Really I mean, you guys are killer clue makers, so I'm not too concerned. Anyone have any thoughts?
My first thought is that Lucy lived at 18 Escondido before.
Oh, interesting. So like that like maybe it was just like because she was ran away from her family. Did like Happy Jack at one point like hold up a little picture of the house she ran away from and it was 18 Escondido?
Yeah. That's just one thought. If anyone else has ideas.
Horrifying. I like it.
I was thinking that maybe the gouge marks in the wall weren't from a monster or a beast, but it was
From an
the
axe?
axe.
Oh, that's also really good. That
Oh,
that
that is
that
good.
that ties back so well into what happened with Dahlia's start at the answering that question. I'm personally leaning that one, but how's everyone else feeling?
I like it.
Yeah, I
do
like it.
I do like the
Okay. Then the formal clue is that yeah, because maybe like you saw like Happy Jack like chopping, and you were just like, those marks look like the marks that we know that we're at, or at least rumored to be at 18. You haven't seen any marks yourselves, but okay, you may add that as a clue, and then somehow you continue living in this town and sleeping in this house. But
Sebastian is not sleeping.
yeah, exactly. Um, we're gonna go to the day phase here in a moment. Everyone can pick two new dawn questions if they'd like to set up some stuff for this session. But before we get into the day phase and introduce our next mystery, because you all watched your first Odyssey tape and unlocked the first layer of the campaign, the old religion, everyone must turn a new key of the child and narrate a flashback. Who would like to go first?
I got mine ready. Let me just move some stuff around here. Okay. When I felt genuine happiness. 1990, age 8. One of my favorite childhood memories, and one of Oscar's too, I hope, might as well have been an episode out of a cartoon, which is where we got the idea. We, the identical twins, switched places. This was after school was out. He was going to basketball camp and I was going to music camp. It wouldn't be an easy switch with our different talents, but we took the assignment very seriously. We studied. We practiced. I knew all his friends' names and he knew mine. He drilled me on the different plays for days, exercising, dribbling, and shooting hoops. And I didn't go easy on him either. He went through his scales like his life depended on it. He played Mary Had a Little Lamb so many times he never wanted to eat lamb chops again. Then the day arrived. They were day camps, so we each got on the wrong bus, wearing the wrong clothes, carrying the wrong lunch boxes. I went to the local community college, where I recognized Doug, Nick, and Roy from the instant camera picture Oscar had shown me. They all called me Oz, which took some getting used to. We ran through all the usual activities, and at first it was going great. I dropped inside jokes they had, referred back to memories they'd shared that I hadn't been there for. I was over the moon. I mean, we'd put ourselves through the paces for this, but deep down, I didn't think we'd actually be able to pull it off. And yet there I was, tricking literally everyone at that camp. I nearly believed it myself. After lunch, we were put into groups and played games against each other. The gym was big enough for 6 games, one on each hoop. 12 teams of grade schoolers all fighting for control of the ball. It was all the camp counselors could do to handle it. Just as I was about to shoot a basket, I tripped on a shoelace and fell forward, colliding face to face with one of the girls on the other team. We smashed into each other so hard that we got bloody lips and one of her teeth chipped. Everything was brought to a halt and we were brought to see the nurse. While we were sitting there, she crying her eyes out, me pinching my nose back, I saw two of the counselors whisper to each other and look at me. That was when I knew. Moments later, Mom came stampeding into the room, and I'm sure the girl next to me loved every minute of the riot act I heard that day. I was thrown into the car next to a sheepish looking Oscar. The moment he saw me, he laughed, but when Mom glared back at us, he silenced. Turns out he made it pretty far into the day, too, until he forgot the difference between bass and treble clef, and the counselor remembered I was a twin. Oscar caved, Mom was called, and we were both grounded for the rest of the month. But when we were finally sent upstairs, we had to squeeze our ribs to stop ourselves from laughing. We couldn't believe we'd actually done it. Even with all the disasters, it was the best thing we'd ever done in our 8 short years. We swapped stories in whispers, giving the details Mom and Dad hadn't cared about. That day, I knew that no matter what, anything could be done if Oscar and I were working together.
Who's next?
I can go next.
Go after Kyle.
Mine is a flashback showing your latchkey kid routine whenever you got home from school. The bus is driving up to a neighborhood. Stops. I get off the bus with the rest of the kids. Nice suburban homes, driveways, manicured lawns. We're all walking through the neighborhood, and one by one, the kids go up to their homes, but I keep walking. Beyond this housing complex, there is a dried up riverbed. It's a shortcut to the trailer park where I live. I get up to the dusty trailer park and forgot my keys inside again. I go to the side door where there's no deadbolt. I pull up my screwdriver and I jimmy the lock. I drop off my things in my room and head to the living room where there's a note waiting on the table. My mom left. I'm gonna be home late tonight. Got overtime. Look forward to your birthday, Maxie. I go over to my dad's record player. He taught me how to handle vinyl properly and place a King Crimson album onto the player. I move to the sink and do dishes and daily chores while falling into the rhythm as the music fills the small trailer, spilling out into the dusty alleys of the trailer park.
I am doing my second a flashback showing how you were an outsider among your school peers. I'd always felt a little different than the other kids. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense. I was what you'd call a preppy kid, always part of the popular cliques. Being a rich kid tends to have that kind of effect, after all. But I never feel like I belonged with them. Like there was something off about me that if I wasn't careful, they'd figure it out, pounce on that weakness, and tear me apart. I realized at some point that I felt the most different when the other boys talked about crushes and how pretty girls were. I never really got it. Didn't have any crushes on any girls. I guess they were pretty, and I liked being friends with them, but I didn't feel the same way the other boys seemed to. I knew that if they picked up on it, they'd make fun of me, so I always faked it. I lied about a crush on some girl or another, even though I didn't really feel anything. Some of the pieces started falling in place when I went to Jordan Lee's birthday party one summer. It was a pool party, so we were all in swim trunks, and I don't know. I guess it occurred to me that I liked looking at Jordan Lee a lot more than I'd ever liked looking at any girls. I didn't have a name for it until I saw it on TV. Golden Girls, Season 6, Episode 14, Sister of the Bride. Blanche's brother comes to Miami to marry another man. It's the first time I'd really heard the word homosexual, gay. It's the first time I'd realized that two boys or two girls being together was even a possibility. I finally knew what made me different, and I knew that most of the other boys weren't like that. So I never told anyone, and I kept pretending to have crushes on girls. To be honest, the words I heard from the other kids as I got older made me glad I kept it secret in school. Things are different now, at least. I don't have as hard of a time admitting it out loud anymore.
Wow, everyone crushed. I regret going last. I am doing the where did it go? Oh, flashback showing your latchkey kid routine whenever you got home from school. School wasn't that good because of the whole weirdo with no friends thing I had going on, but after school growing up was kind of incredible. My mom worked nights, so I would come home to an empty house and play like a little adult after a long day of work. First, it was changing out of school clothes and a stiff cup of Kool-Aid to take the edge off. Always cherry, because I liked pretending it was blood and I was a vampire. Then I'd warm up whatever my mom had left for me for dinner. I realize now I was using the stove much earlier than most kids, but my mom was like super careful to teach me about fire safety for the record. I don't want anyone thinking she'd neglected me or whatever. I would do my homework while I ate at the kitchen table, rubbing my forehead like I saw detectives doing on TV when they were stumped by a particularly tough case. And after homework, I'd pack up all my stuff back into my backpack, except for my notebook. I liked writing stories. I'd get a sucker and hold it between my teeth like my mom did with her cigarettes while I wrote. While I wrote and wrote until I was satisfied. I'd leave it on the table for my mom to read when she got home. She was very invested in my writing career, as she called it, and then go park it in front of the TV for a while. I watched like a ton of TV growing up. I loved a mystery, so my favorites were what you'd assume Scooby Doo, Murder She Wrote, The Edge of Night, and Unsolved Mysteries were my personal favorites. Well, besides Muffy, but that aired new episodes on the weekends. I'd watch while I colored or drew for a while and ate bowls of strawberry ice cream with chocolate syrup and whipped cream. Same flavor. Every night. Sometimes I'd fall asleep right there on the couch, fingers sticky and minds full of mysteries. On those nights, my mom would carry me to bed when she got home. Half awake, I'd hear her whisper as she tucked me in, pretending she didn't see the flashlight and the copy of scary stories to tell in the dark under my pillow. Sleep well, baby. The stars are watching over you. Always the stars and never God. I don't think Mom put much stock in religion, but the stars, those are constant, she said. And I'd drift back to sleep, my dreams filled with strawberries and the warm scent of her drugstore perfume. People have called it lonely, but I always called it perfect.
Let's go to the day phase. It has been a couple of days, I think. You have not been back to 18 Escondido. You've been sidetracked. You've been doing other things and had time to go back yet, maybe, who knows. But there's another mystery on your plate quite immediately. Our new mystery is Slumber Party Summoning Circle. Everett, you have a childhood friend who still lives in Deep Lake. Her name is Samantha Harrington. Back then, Samantha was a real hellraiser. Describe a time when Samantha got the two of you in deep trouble.
The two of us would always hang out during lunch, and once she convinced Everett that they should skip the rest of their classes. However, they were in elementary school, and so they didn't really get very far before the teachers found them.
Very fun. Samantha has invited the Deep Lake Latchkeys to her house for a slumber party for adults. You all attended, perhaps reluctantly. Let's paint the scene, everyone. How did Samantha decorate her house to invoke the feeling of a 1980s girls' slumber party?
Think that she has set up like these cloths that along the walls that make it seem like you're inside of a massive bed.
She bought a bunch of choose your own adventure books, had them kind of laid out on the table.
I actually had something similar in mind, a stack of Babysitter's Club books.
I got there. There's a bunch of pillows and blankets all over the floor because it's like pallet sleep style.
Very nice. The slumber party was also attended by a few of Samantha's local friends and was mostly an excuse to get together, drink, and catch up. Samantha did, however, plan a few classic slumber party activities and treats: prank phone calls, a game of girl talk, and even gift bags stuffed with Lisa Frank stickers and friendship bracelets. Near the end of the night, Samantha produced something extra special from her closet: a copy of The Crying Circle, a little known board game from the 1980s that was originally marketed as a competitor to Hasbro's Ouija board. The Crying Circle is actually a kit for performing a summoning ritual. It includes a game board that unfolds into an altar, a plastic athame, a cassette tape with discordant music and chanting on it, battery operated candles, and the Tome of Sadness, a booklet with sad stories and question prompts that are posed to participants as they play. The idea is you set up your little summoning circle using the items in the box and then take turns reading stories and prompts from the Tome of Sadness in order to get participants to cry. If everyone sheds at least one tear, La Llorona, a figure from Mexican folklore, will appear and grant the group a single wish. Samantha set the game and then read aloud the opening invocation. La Llorona, gather our tears. We shed them for you, O Mother of Sadness. Show us you are near. Then everyone took turns reading from the Tome of Sadness. A question for all of you. Which question or story from the Tome of Sadness finally made you cry, if even just a little, and why?
There's a rewritten story of the ugly duckling, but he doesn't find his swan parents in the end. Obviously, I cried because that's depressing.
I think there's a story of a family dog, like Old Yeller, that went vicious and they had to be put down. And that is what makes Max cry.
For Sebastian, it is a retelling of Cain and Abel.
Ominous.
That
There
is really
is
ominous.
a story of a girl that fell down a well, and even though her dog barked and barked and barked, nobody came to save her.
Yeah, those are all pretty sad. But now let's paint the scene, everyone. How do you know it actually worked? That you all brought something into the world by playing the Crying Circle?
At one point, the candles flickered and guttered, which is crazy because they're electric.
I
Uh,
think,
Go ahead.
I was about to say, I think that after we did the ritual, and if you were to look out to the windows, it looked like there was rain droplets coming down them.
After everybody shed a tear, the Book of Sadness itself leaked tears. The book itself cried.
Also, when everyone shed a tear, they wiped it away and it looked like blood.
One of the party members or party attendees, Linnea Rodenbecker, went catatonic, blank faced, seemingly unaware of her surroundings and unable to speak. The party immediately ended. Samantha agreed to watch over Linnea for the rest of the night while everyone else went home. The next morning, Samantha comes to you for help. Linnea hasn't gotten any better and might be possessed by whatever you brought into the world. The first order of business is to find out what is possessing her, a sorrowful ghost or something more demonic. So the first question on Slumber Party Summoning Circle is Linnea possessed by a sorrowful ghost, I can pronounce that, or something more demonic in nature? It's complexity 4. Once you answer that, you'll unlock the next question. And there is a special key associated with this mystery as well, the key of sadness. So you have 2 active mysteries now, the house on Escondido Street and Slumber Party Summoning Circle. So let's go around and hear what everyone is interested in doing today. Dahlia, what about you?
As interesting as the house is, there's a real life girl who is still alive who's being very affected by this other thing. So I would like to do work on that. Maybe going to Samantha's house again.
Yeah, go back to Samantha's. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Everett, what about you?
Here you have read my mind because Samantha and I are friends. I feel like I gotta help her out. I would also like to go see Samantha, and maybe perhaps on the drive over, we set up a little nostalgic move.
Oh, we can talk about that here in a moment. Yeah. Sebastian, or rather, let's do Max first. I'll do character keep order. Max first.
Kind of agree. I think the girl is quite important, but Max is not a people person. As much as he likes being helpful, a catatonic girl is not really much he can do about. I think he's gonna be like, you should probably take her to the hospital.
So real for that.
Hospital, that's like next town. It's like, because there's like a
drive her to La Fresca.
Yeah, drive her to La Fresca. It's like a 40 minutes out of the way. Yeah.
But I think that Max is gonna go to the house on Escondido Street and see if he can find out some extra stuff there.
Okay, cool. What about Sebastian?
Sebastian was never really friends with either of these girls, Samantha or what's her name, Linnea. He just kind of got invited along with the others because he happened to be there in their vicinity when they got the invite. And so, yeah, he's not gonna really get involved with that. He's gonna keep looking into the house on Escondido Street. And to that effect, where else can we go? We've explored the house.
I will
We checked the
say
library.
maybe one thing that may have come up in your microfiche browsing in our last session is that I didn't mention at the time, but I'll mention it now. You may have learned that uh, there is a living relative of the Mendozas who actually still live on Escondido Street. Hugh's sister, Debbie Mendoza. Actually, maybe you had mentioned that, you saw her there and you can like look her up and she still lives in Deep Lake. In fact, she only lives a few houses down from 18. So she still lives there, a living member of the family.
Okay, yeah, that is definitely worth checking out.
Okay. Very good. Seems like we have some good scenes set up here. Let's take a short break before we get into our day phase activities. Let's start with Dahlia and Everett, since you're both going to hop into Everett's car, I assume, and drive over to Samantha's house. Given that Samantha came by and let you know that Linnea wasn't doing any better to recruit your help, I imagine she like showed up this morning and she's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go. She headed back to her house while you guys were like still, getting ready or doing your own things. So she had like left Linnea alone for a bit, came to you guys and drove back. So you're probably like gonna get to her house a little bit after she arrived. She couldn't have left that long ago. But I believe Everett, you wanted to have a bit of a condition clearing scene with Dahlia. Is that right?
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's talk about that because in public access, this is the nostalgic move. When you have an intimate moment with one or more latchkeys while waxing nostalgic about anything that takes you back, you may each clear an appropriate condition. Then, as a group, define a clue that is stumbled upon during the scene. The clue cannot conclusively answer a question by itself. You can only participate in the nostalgic move once per phase. Yeah. Unlike the between, it doesn't have to be someone chooses their vice and they go. Just like, nope, as long as you talk about anything that takes you back in the nostalgic move while having this scene, it counts. But you're the one driving, Everett, so go ahead and set the scene for us.
Yeah, I think Everett's driving, kind of like has a little cold shiver, and he looks at Dally and he's like, ever since we went to Escondido, I've been a little cold. I know it's hot out, but do you mind if I turn on the heat just a little bit? You're muted. Tamara, you're muted.
You're muted, Tamara.
Oh my God, no. Why do you think I'm wearing this knit cardigan in the middle of summer? I feel the same way.
I'm glad. It's kind of weird seeing Samantha after all this time. We used to run around in class, skip class together. We didn't get very far, but
I feel like I remember that. Were you guys missing for like literally less than an hour before the teacher brought you back?
I know they caught us so quickly, and it didn't teach us any lessons. It was always a menace when we sat next to each other too. Just pass notes back and forth, little running
Oh.
conversations.
That sounds fun though. No one wanted to pass notes with me.
I'll pass a note
Honestly,
to you
I'm kind of
sometime.
surprised Samantha even invited the rest of us. I mean, I assume it's because we're staying with you, but I'm mostly bummed out we had to end the party before we got to play Truth or Dare.
Truly devastating. It's kind of understandable though, given what happened.
No, I mean, like, totally, for sure. I'm very sympathetic to the whole catatonic, possibly possessed thing,
Right. It's not great.
but just like kind of a bummer.
No, I agree.
I had such a classic one too. I was gonna make someone tell everyone who they thought the hottest person in the room was.
The classic truth and dare. Truth or dare. Uh, kind of glad I'm not going back to the house. That kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't tell the others because I know we're here totally solving like a very scary mystery. And don't get me wrong, I so like scary things. It's like totally my thing. But I hated that. The basement was really bad. It was really scary, and I really thought I wasn't going to be able to get out of there.
The TV room was not much better. The VCR was on. We tried the lights. It was nothing.
That is so horrifying and unexplainable.
Honestly, I want to get to the bottom of this, but I don't know, Dahlia. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, it's like kind of cool, right? I mean, this stuff is crazy.
Yeah, I guess
This
it's a little
town is
cool,
so whack, and I don't really know how I never noticed that growing up.
right? Like the tape, I don't remember them being that weird.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that I do either, but it was like a real blast from the past. Maybe I didn't notice how weird it was here until I like left here, you know? Like you really have to get a sense of how normal things are everywhere else. Like in San Fran, people are like, I mean, stuff like this just doesn't really happen. People get like murdered or whatever, but whole TV studios disappearing, haunted houses, girls going catatonic from silly board games.
Not really the San Francisco vibe, huh?
Definitely not.
Oh, I'm glad we're doing it together at least. There's four of us. Doesn't feel so lonely.
Same. It's like really cool to have friends here.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's pretty nice. All right, very good. Uh, on the outset, what condition do you feel you each have cleared?
Chilled, of course. I turned
Yeah,
the heat
I feel
on.
Naturally.
like we made a solid case for chilled.
All right, you can clear chilled, both of you. And Everett, would you care to read your move? Because I believe it triggers now.
Yes. My move, thank you for being a friend. You're easy to open up to. When you do the nostalgic move, the other latch keys can clear a second condition, or they can take the condition feeling good. They can clear feeling good at any time to gain advantage on a dice roll. So your choice, Dahlia.
Oh, that's so sick. I totally forgot that was your move.
Mm-hmm.
OMG, does this car ride totally heal my shins?
I like to think that we just like see you like kick your legs up on the dash. You're just like rubbing the feeling back into
Like,
them. You know? Yeah.
crazy. These bruises faded really fast. I definitely have my combat boots up on Everett's dash.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Go ahead and clear that condition then, and be thinking about a clue you will stumble on during this scene before ending up at Samantha's house. Let's jump over to Max. Max, you're going over to 18 Escondido. It's a pretty normal day as far as this goes. Some girls are playing, double dutch on the sidewalk. And again, just summer normal activities around here. I would imagine you heard from Everett and Dahlia that there's like the you can get in through the backyard, though I think they also mentioned they may have like left the front door unlocked. So yeah, you can enter the house however you want. As a reminder of the house's layout, there is the backyard, the kitchen and dining room, the TV room, which we saw with Everett, the bedrooms for the family members each, and the basement. Is there a particular room in the house you are most interested in?
I was gonna check out the bedroom, see if there's any indicator of maybe to like why they left. I know that Everett and Dahlia had already checked out the living room and basement, so
Hmm.
I'm gonna focus in on those.
Yeah. So, however you get in the house,
Yeah, through the
you.
back door. I'm
All right.
not I'm not walking in through the front. That's too obvious.
Yeah, fair enough. You slip in through the back door and find your way down a hallway. And off of that, there are three bedrooms. And just at even like a cursory glance and even like, you know, home decor, you know that, one bedroom clearly belonged to Elliot, one belonged to his sister Abigail. And then there is, of course, the master bedroom. As you are, taking your steps down this hallway, you hear just around you the creaking of timbers as the house settles, or perhaps brings to mind the shuddering of something deep lurking, like the house itself is stretching, shaking off slumber.
I hate that.
Yeah. Which bedroom do you want to check out?
Uh, the master bedroom first.
All right. Inside the master bedroom, you see teal and mauve decor with seaside motifs. There is a queen size bed with a brass frame. And though it's been like a decade, you can still get the faint smell of Estee Lauder perfume. Let's paint the scene, everyone. What here makes you think Hugh and Sherry were focused more on their children than themselves?
I think in this room there's only the bed and a single dresser. Even though it's the master bedroom, the closet is actually filled up with things that are like the children's old toys and photo albums.
There's a narrow mirror on that dresser. But there are so many pictures posted of their kids that they can't actually see their reflection through the mirror.
Can you repeat the prompt? I was thinking about my clue and kind of didn't hear you.
No worries. For the master bedroom, what here makes you think Hugh and Sherry were focused more on their children than themselves?
I have one in mind. Um, Opposite the bed on the wall is one of those enormous family photos that you get together at Sears or something. Everyone's dressed to their best, and so it's facing the bed so they could see it as they fell asleep.
There's a calendar in here um that's filled with all the things they have to do, but they're all activities for their kids. Sports games and meetings and recitals, etc.
Very good. So, Max, as you look around the bedroom, what do you do?
I'm just gonna flip things open drawers, see if there's anything like in sort of that dresser that I can find. Just like metal around.
Sure. You can go ahead and give us the meddling move with your reason. Your hands, though, they're a little, little sore. They don't, come into play here. So you have this flat.
This is with reason.
Mm-hmm.
A 6 and a 3 plus 1 is 10.
Clue. Very good. Let's see here. You're looking through the bedroom, opening drawers, as you described, and, you just see the remnants of this family as they left their house. And it's like exactly what you'd expect to see in the drawers and, you know, dressing cabinets of a couple like Hugh and Sherry Mendoza, as you've seen and as you've heard about, which is also strange because again they've been missing for a decade and all the stuff is still here. This house has not been cleaned out, um, and but none of it's remarkable. You do have the idea to go low and look under the bed, and there is something down there. You see at first just it looks like just like an object. It's like small little like rectangular squarish object lying flat. And yep, you reach under the bed and you pull it out. It's a picture frame like many of the ones you've already seen in this house so far, like the kind you'd put like on an end table with a little standee, although it is like face on under the bed. And when you look at it, it looks completely normal. You see Hugh, you see Sherry, you see Abigail, you see Elliot, and then it hits you. There's a third child in this photograph in like with like the family in a pose. So that's your clue. This family photo that seemingly shows a third unknown child.
But I'm definitely gonna just take that picture with me.
Okay. You pocket it.
And yeah, I think with that, I'll see if I have enough time to explore. I think more so Elliot's room because I think that's what Casey would, want to know, who he'd want to know more about.
Certainly, you can easily walk across the hall to his bedroom. While you do that, down the block a bit, Sebastian, you're paying a visit to Debbie Mendoza, Hugh's sister, who lives just down the street. How do you approach? Like, are you going to knock? Or did you call ahead? What is your vector of interacting with this woman?
Um, I never had a direct connection to this family, though I did probably would have known the kid Casey Wilcox in passing, going through elementary school together or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, I think Sebastian wouldn't think to call ahead and
Sure.
put this
Yeah.
woman on her guard. I think he would just try to dress as well as he could while accounting for the heat and just try to give the best visual impression he could to look harmless as he's about to dredge up unpleasant memories. So he'll just drop by at a some reasonable hour and knock on the door.
Yeah. You can hear the TV, blaring on inside, and the yard's gone a little bit to hell. Not like, overgrown, though it's a bit weedy. You can still see like this like, this like landscaper just, brrrr on a lawnmower tending to the houses in general down here. But this one seems to get a little less love and attention. After a moment, the door opens. It's one of those like outer screens, and then behind that's like the wooden door. So the door itself opens, though the screen door is latched and closed, and you see a woman standing there in the doorway. She's got red hair, though the roots are going gray. Everything about her body language is defensive, from the way she holds her shoulders, the way that she's just posed in general, and she is holding like a cigarette that's like half smoked. She like looks you up and down. And she just says with this raspy voice, like this woman's smoked a pack a day since she was 8. She just goes, "What do you want?"
Hi, my name is Sebastian Melmoth. I I'm here about an old friend of mine, uh, Elliot Mendoza. We knew each other when we were kids. Um, I was just I heard about what happened to him, and I wanted to see what it was.
She looks like very seriously at you, just still rigid. And she goes, "You think you're a real fucking comedian, don't you? You think I haven't heard this one before? That you're the first one to come by and be like, oh, by the way, I'm looking for information. I've seen this whole song and dance before, Buster. You're not funny, you're not original, and I'm sick and goddamn tired of punks like you coming around, poking fun at the ghost murder house. So why don't you just leave before I call the cops? Hmm?
Who said anything about ghosts or murder?
She like squints at you as if she's fully taking in your bearing. She just, takes a draw from her cigarette, smokes it behind her. You tell me you knew Elliot,
Yeah, we were in school together.
and you don't know? You don't know what happened?
All I really know is that one day he and his parents and his siblings were gone.
Yeah. His parents, my brother. Yeah. She has this like real like fuck it like face that crosses her expression. There's a bit of ease in her body language as she pushes open the screen door for you, and she says, "Yeah, come in."
Thank you.
And she lets you into her house. The whole place smells like you'd expect, mostly like cigarette smoke. Um, and she's walking over to the a little kitchenette where seated at like a Formica tabletop, and she's like fishing through like a plastic bag, and she says, "You actually caught me at a decent hour. I already went back and stocked up on my smokes a little bit ago." And she pulls one out and offers one to you.
That's okay, I don't smoke.
She has this look for a moment, and she's like, "Really?" And she doesn't comment on that because she sniffs the air a little bit, but shrugs and like sits down, and, like lights up a new one after crushing her old one in an ashtray. She says, "You want anything to drink or to eat? I got iced tea. I got lemonade. That one comes in a can, and
Iced tea is fine, thanks you.
mm, All right. She goes and pours you a glass. Um, and you know, she tells you as if you were in fact utterly unaware of all the details. The the premise that Casey mentioned to you that everyone else in Deep Lake already knows, which is that 10 years ago they just disappeared without a trace. And Debbie says, I want to know what happened to Hugh and those kids and Sherry more than anyone, but I, no one's found anything. Cops didn't so much as give up as just realize there wasn't much to be found at all. They put in a few calls in other counties, sure, rung out to other towns, but no one saw hide nor hair of any of them.
And none of them said anything to you beforehand about what was going on in their lives. I mean, if there's one thing I know about families is that there's always kind of something that they want to keep to themselves. There's always some drama,
Yeah, the
conflict.
drama was that I had been telling my brother for years that he needs to move out of that damn house. That house is just wrong. It's cursed, evil. I don't know what. Just real bad juju, you know? And it's always been that way. Even before my brother and his family disappeared, I never liked it from the start.
What first gave you the impression there was something wrong with it?
Like I said, bad juju. Couldn't explain it, just
A feeling?
a feeling. Yeah. And despite that feeling and my refusal to ever step foot inside that place, well, I'm still fronting those costs to keep that place up.
Really? Why
Oh,
would you do
yeah.
that?
Well, that's a question I've heard a lot. I guess, well, it's still their house. I think, well, I think they might come back someday if we just leave it as it is.
Yeah,
Not that
like
that bitch Patience Head cares too much about sentiment. Been fighting her about it for years.
who?
Ah, Patience Head, you haven't had the privilege of meeting the local head of the homeowners association. President, I suppose, is the title.
Homeowners Association?
Yeah, it's a load of shit. And
Ugh.
so is she.
Who's the demonic SOB that came up with the HOA in the first place?
She just like narcissist is like, that's the right questions, and I sure as shit would like to have a word with him.
I swear those people like that are so wound up their spines are double helixes.
She chuckles at that. She goes, "Damn, all right, okay, you're funny. I'll give you that."
I'm lucky enough to not live anywhere near an HOA, but their jurisdiction ends at my next door neighbors, and oh my God, the crap I've had to put up with. They think I belong to them. I had to comb through so much fine print just to prove it and give them one big finger, get them to leave me alone. And they're still petty about it. Still send me notices just to mess with me.
Just like him, really. But well, Patience, she's a brown noser. She's a snoop. She's a real piece of work. But well, really, she's just annoying. I get a little kick at every time she comes round. We have a little, back and forth, a little verbal spar, and she has this vein right here at the edge of her stupid fucking helmet hairdo that just begins to bulge when she gets angry. Ah, it's better than half the shit I watch on TV these days.
There is something about annoying the easily annoyed.
Hmm. You want a sandwich or anything? I got some watercress in my fridge. I was just gonna make a little something.
Why not?
And she gets up. We'll come back to you. Everett, Dahlia, what clue came of your nostalgic move?
Well, we were tossing around that she's reluctant. She was reluctant to play the game in the first place, but Eric came up with the good idea that she's Hispanic. She's heard of La Llorona and been warned against it by her grandmother.
Oh, interesting.
So I guess
So
the clue would be like one of us remembering
Yeah,
that
so just like, yeah,
she
oh, okay.
Comes
Mhm.
up as we like talk on the car ride over.
yeah.
Mm.
Linnea didn't want to play the game.
Oh, okay. Linnea didn't, yeah, was against playing the
Linnea.
game at first. Yeah,
She's
Linnea.
against playing it 'cause she's heard of La Llorona.
Yeah, because of she's superstition. Yeah, I love it. Great, cool. That just like kind of occurs to you. Yeah, and as you're driving to Samantha's house, you turn a corner and there's a little, you know, street preacher just bellowing out, raging, face glistening with sweat in the hot, you know, desert sun, just bellowing out the sins of everyone passing by. Even like, can't really hear him with the radio and the air going in the windows. But is you catch his part where he's like just like, warbling out, being like, it's like, beware, beware, demons! This town's infested with them. Demons are coming for you and your loved ones. Sinners, all of you, and especially you, pointing at your cars you're driving by. Sinners, the demons are coming for you. And
Ugh, can't get away from crazy. I turned the radio up.
Oh
Yeah,
my
exactly.
God. Guys like that are the worst. They really harsh my vibe.
you arrive at Samantha's house. Her car's in the driveway. You park up and walk inside. She left the door open for you. Well, it hasn't been cleaned up since last night, because she still left all the pizza boxes and empty beer cans from the slumber party just strewn about. There's a Britney Spears poster in a prominent place, and her tabby, Mr. Max, is plodding about, looking very confused and slightly annoyed. But let's paint the scene, everyone. Samantha Harrington never made it out of Deep Lake. What do you see that makes you think she desperately wants to be somewhere else?
Uh, there are little college like tour pamphlets tucked away under like a stack of books or something for like colleges in different states.
I imagine there are a lot of framed photos on the walls of herself and sometimes a couple of friends from a trip to New York City they made to celebrate graduating college.
She's got a shelf full of travel books and one of those pin maps with only two pins in it, Deep Lake and New York.
yeah, I think on like there's a poster that's partially covering a calendar, but it's got budgeted out of her paychecks of how much she needs to save for a trip to Los Angeles.
You two enter her house, and in addition to just gaining the inquisitive ire of Mr. Max, who just looks up and mules at you two as you enter, you can actually hear Samantha sounding kind of like like frantic somewhere like in the else in the house. You kind of hear like footsteps as she seems like moving around pretty quickly, and she's going, Lenny, oh God, mother, fuck, damn it, Lenny, hey, Lenny, and
Samantha,
yeah, you hear like say, yeah, I'm upstairs. Come, yeah, and she begins to like come down the stairs to meet you halfway. Samantha is still dressed exactly in what she was wearing at the slumber party last night. She has not changed. which is to say she's wearing an oversized sweater and hair scrunchies and very dramatic eye makeup. Um, and she just crosses her arms, across her chest, and she looks very stressed out. She has this like affectation you remember, Everett, from your childhood, which is like she like sometimes just like idly like picks at her snaggletooth, um, and when she's stressed, and she's doing that right now. And she goes, I can't find her. She's gone. She's gone.
I thought she was catatonic to mirror
Yeah,
your
so did
muted.
I. She wasn't doing anything. She was right here. She's like, pointing at like the couch. When I left to come by your house this morning, and I came back, and the front door was wide open, and she's not here. She's not anywhere. I'm I thought maybe she like wandered nearby. I looked up and down the street. You can say that, Samantha's like freaking out a little bit.
Okay, okay, hey, hey, hey. In with the deep breath, in with the good air, out with the bad. Okay. She can't have gotten that far. I mean, you were gone what? 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, like if that.
Okay, so she can't have gotten that far. Why don't
Shit.
we all go outside and go in different directions? We'll cover more ground. See if there's, I don't know, footprints or something.
I looked. I mean, like I didn't see. I mean, like I don't have. There's not like it's cement and gravel on my. There's not like a dirt. I looked. I didn't see anything.
It's okay. There's three of us now. Three pairs of eyes are better than one. If you want to keep checking the house, make sure she's not, I don't know, tucked in a cabinet.
Or that you're like here if she decides to come back.
Yeah, exactly. And then Dahlia and I will go outside and we'll look around. If it comes to it, we can drive around. But we'll look. Don't worry, we'll find her.
Okay. I'm gonna call Corey and Cholula. And these are the two of her friends that were at the slumber party last night. I'm just gonna let them know like what's going on, give them an update.
Yeah,
I
and
need
like maybe call Lenny's parents too.
absolutely fucking not. I'm sorry.
I was
Sorry.
just like, maybe she went to their house, but
No, no,
okay,
no, no,
okay.
no, no, no. So I look. Um, sorry. So in case you don't know, Linnea is a Rodenbecker, and okay, I take it you don't remember anything about the Rodenbeckers from whenever you lived here?
I mean, the name is familiar. I feel like there
It's the
were none
street
in
we live
my
on.
class.
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff in this town's named after them. Um, okay, so like Samantha like sighs and says, "Quick crash course on the Rodenbeckers." Well, so Linnea doesn't have a mom. Her dad is Daryl Rodenbecker is the biggest piece of shit in DeGoya County.
I do remember that.
That son of a bitch thinks he runs everything around here just because he's got Rodenbecker money. And the way he treats Linnea like she's his precious little doll. He made her do that purity ball shit when she was little. He's a total
Oh,
creep. Yeah.
ew.
So I didn't mean to freak out on you. Just
No, it's fine. It's kind of coming back to me now.
Daryl
Okay.
finding out that something's going on with Linnea. Last thing, I wanna have happen. But no, maybe. Well, She still lives with him and and her siblings. Yeah, they live at Rodenbecker Ranch together. Maybe okay. She could maybe she went home. Maybe she walked home, which is a few miles, but I mean maybe. Fuck.
Well, we'll look in the immediate area. We'll see if we can find anything. And then if nothing else, we can check the ranch later.
Okay.
But we've been talking long enough. We should, before she gets any further, let's go. You keep checking the house. Dahlia and I go outside.
Right. So true.
Yeah, like I said, I'll look and I'll fuck, where'd I put my phone? And she like looks and begins to like root around in one of the like slumber party gift bag, just like pulling out Lisa Frank stickers, friendship bracelets, pop rocks, sleep masks and slippers, dream journals, cassette tapes from like Bananarama, the Go-Go's, Expose, little dime bags of Coke.
On
And
my
then,
way out, I grab a couple of the Pop Rocks, rip one
Mhm.
open, like eating it as we go.
I do grab a stack of Lisa Frank stickers just in
Incredible.
case.
And yeah, what did you do?
Um, I mean, damn, I guess we go look for her outside.
Yeah, I just want to start looking through like the immediate area, see if there's like, is this like all suburban? Are there just houses around? Is there
Yeah,
like,
like so like Samantha lives in a part of Deep Lake that is it's pretty standard as far as like a small town goes. It's not as like necessarily nice and clean cut as some of like the more modern parts of it. Samantha, inherited the house when her parents passed away. And so they had like a pretty like old house, but it's so this neighborhood is like very classic standard fare for like a small town in the middle of fucking nowhere,
Right.
which is to say, a lot of room and not entirely well tended. And just even like a cursory glance, you like see like no signs of of like someone like walking through. Like again, like there's not like a lot of
And it's the desert, so everything is flat and we can see
yeah,
through
everything's
it.
fucking flat and like it's all like, asphalt and like gravel and just, sun bleach and it's fucking hot out and you're wearing a cardigan. Why was this a good idea? But yeah, you don't see any like signs of like footprints while looking around.
Okay. So there's like nothing out here. Maybe she left some clue as to where she was going inside. If we can find anything under that mess of pizza boxes and Lisa Frank stickers.
yeah. Um, I guess maybe if you want to help look inside, I can drive around the neighborhood. Like we said, probably couldn't have gotten far. She wasn't gone that long.
I know, like, and in this heat, 30 minutes, I mean, she can't have made it more than like a mile.
I can't even last 5 minutes out here. It's
I'm
awful.
literally dying. Being a goth in the summer is not for the weak. Go back inside.
Dahlia goes inside. Everett, you hop in your car and start to drive around. Um, Dahlia, since you're like, yeah, where are you looking around inside the house?
She was just on the couch like all night.
Like Samantha's like, she got off the phone and she's like, no, like I had to like move her around a little bit. Like she would move. I
Did
didn't have
she
to like, carry her or
sleep?
anything. No, she just
Oh,
sat up, just
yikes.
nothing.
All right. Where's the board? Do you have it?
Oh, like the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still upstairs. Yeah, I mean, sure. I have it.
I don't know. I'm gonna go look at it. Maybe we missed something.
Okay. You'll go root through the game's contents and the other stuff left behind from the party. Why don't you go ahead and roll the meddling move with reason?
Oh my God. Ow. Hurt myself. I don't remember my stats because this is a new character.
It's +1 for reason.
Fuck yeah. Excuse me, baby. Okay. That's a 5, and a 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8.
8. Clue with a complication. You're kind of like, you know, poring over things, looking at all the remnants, and when you check like the back cover of the box, of the crying game, um, I think I'll keep this pretty easy. I'm going to say that this clue is gated behind you needing to find more information about it. It's like a thread to follow. But there is like the company that made it, like the toy company that did it is uh um there is the details about them, which are like, okay, cool. There's something to look up there because you've never heard of this company before. If you find a way to get more information about the publishers of this game, that will be a clue. That is your complication. Unless you decide to turn a key and then it'll be a clue here and now.
Heard. I don't mind following a hunch.
A hunch. All right, go ahead and add just we'll just block out, a little locked clue here. Yeah. Um yeah, it's you get the name of the company and decide to do some more digging there. Um Meanwhile, Everett, you're driving around the neighborhood and you know, what's playing on the radio?
2000s. We'll harken back to the poster. It's Britney Spears.
Hell yeah. Um is Everett a car singer?
100%. He's trying so hard not to, but Toxic is playing, and it is
Mm-hmm.
his song, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like blaring. You got the windows rolled down. You're like just like, going down the streets and the sun just baking overhead, but you got the AC running, the radio blaring, and it's like and then it's doing the whole like song, and then the radio begins to like begins to like freak out, like and like yeah, your console just begins like the audio comes like all chipped and the AC like begins to like wildly like go like up and down, like your car's like having like a little freak out. The windshield wipers go for a moment.
This car is literally from 2003. Why is it hit the
And
console?
you're looking down at the console, trying to like get this. When you look back up, instinct kicks in as you slam on the brakes because there's someone suddenly standing in the middle of the road. And it is the tallest man you've ever seen. Taller than the tallest of your fellow latchkeys, easily 4 feet wide at the shoulder, wearing a creamy yellow suit and a cowboy hat. He also has a little bolo tie that in the light catches, the way the light catches, you see it's like a little gold bolo tie with like a smiling sun face on it. And he's just standing there in the middle of the asphalt road, sun bright, beating down overhead, smoking a cigarette, looking directly at you. There's no one else around you right now. And we'll come back to this scene. Max, you're entering Elliot's room. Let's see. There's a twin bed with Ninja Turtle sheets. There's like also like a large poster of Bill Nye the Science Guy, like science rules, hanging nearby. And you have to be careful as you're stepping around because there are Matchbox cars spread on the floor like caltrips. And you see just like his dresser, his like the clothes like shutter, like wood slat like closet door in the wall. What do you do?
Dodging the caltrops of Matchbox cars. I think Max tries to like not break any. Uh, but I think he steps over to the closet to see if like there's anything that he stashed away in here. Now knowing that it was a younger brother.
Yeah, it was Elliot.
No, Elliot
Oh,
in the photo. The third one was a younger
I'll
brother.
leave that vague for the
Okay.
sake of theorizing. It's just a third child.
Oh yeah, gotcha. So knowing that there was a third child, um, siblings usually keep something, even if like parents try to erase it. So
Mhm.
see if Elliot had anything from his sibling.
Because you open the closet, you activate the paint the scene question for this room. Something about the energy in the room changes when you open the closet door. What do you see or otherwise experience that makes you think Elliot is still in the house somewhere?
I think as soon as I open the closet door, it is the sense of panic and being found. It just washes over me, that like just all consuming fear.
There are a series of tally marks on the wall written in crown, and if you counted them all, it would be the exact number of days since the Mendozas disappeared.
10 years of tally marks. Holy shit.
That's
Oh
crazy.
man.
Fucking
I hate that.
crazy.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Holy shit.
You don't see anything but hear running footprints, like footsteps.
As soon as you open the closet doors, the first thing you see is uh an AC vent, maybe up by the ceiling or down by the floor, close.
Oh yeah, so there's not like a yeah, oh it's the AC vents closed, so you don't so it can't just be a wind that passes by. Freaky. I think all of these things that have been said is more than enough justification for you to roll the day move in reaction to this. What are you afraid of happening if you lose your nerve?
I think I'm gonna that I think that Max is gonna freak out and just be like, "Nope, I'm fucking out of here," and just be like, "This is too much right now."
Mm-hmm. All right. Good to know that in that case you can roll with composure.
A 6 and a 1 plus what's my composure? 1.
One. So if you decide to stay in the house, swallow this moment of fear, you are going to experience a haunting. That is if you stay in the house.
I'd like to turn a key about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I will. Okay, so you're not going to choose to back down. You're going to turn the key. Okay. Okay. What key are you going to turn?
The fathomless well.
The second key of desolation. Your reason modifier is reduced by 1 and your sensitivity modifier is increased by 1. Indeed. So in that case, you get to just simply describe how you hold your composure and
I
like what
think
that looks like.
I actually think that Max kind of focuses in on the pain of his hands as he's gripping onto like the frame of the closet and the closet door itself as he's like holding it open. He just kind of grips and just catches his breath and then like relaxes for a moment and goes, "This place has definitely got something fucked up going on with it."
When
I begin to
you
loot
go ahead.
around.
Yeah, you loot around. I will go ahead and let you roll another uh meddling move with reason. I think this is the last one you can gain from the house today
Fair.
if you get anything.
A 6 and a 3 for 9.
And then plus reason, which is 0, so 9.
Goose egg.
You
Just dropped it.
absolutely. Clue with a complication. Okay. You like are like pulling like stuff out of the closet and like looking deeper within. And in addition to like the myriad of, you know, uh tally marks that are, scored all along the interior, you actually see a little peeled corner of of um of like wallpaper. Not that like it's like necessarily there's like you wouldn't necessarily think that the closet was wallpapered in here. Um, but like it's just like some kind of like, like it apparently is, but there's a little peel back. Um, and as you like go to like, peel that away, it takes a moment because it's significant. You actually see that there's something uh rendered onto the wall that it was covering up. And whether it's, paint or, like a charcoal drawing, whatever we think is the coolest aesthetically, there's a very realistically depicted door rendered on the wall at the back of Elliot's closet that's been hidden. It's, you know, it's almost lifelike, but it is a 2D, rendering of a door. And as you are like, peeling back the paper, like looking at it, you hear very suddenly, like behind you, as if it was like inches, the roaring growl of like a car engine, just a and like the screeching of tires like inches away from you. You uh whip around to see inexplicably just a pair of headlights coming at you, a car about to roll you down. You wince and like, instinctually back up, but when you like open your eyes and blink, in you're just in Elliot's bedroom. But that sound of that engine because that's your car engine.
Lipso? What
Whatever
the
just
fuck?
happened, uh, you're gonna take the condition haunted.
Get haunted by my own car.
And before you leave the scene, you notice something else as your heart finally calms down. Someone's watching you.
In the house or
Actually,
from outside?
in the house, the doorway to Elliot's room, just a sliver through it, you see like a small, 10-year-old boy just barely peeking around the corner down the hallway into the room. You just catch the edge of a bowl cut in a neon green shirt. The second you see him, disappears around the corner.
Car
And you
or
have
kid?
now unlocked a new question in this mystery. How can we lure Elliot to us? Complexity 2, which allows you, if you answer this question, to unlock Elliot Mendoza as a reward. And I think we'll wrap you there.
We get a ghost child?
Potentially.
Uh, and then Sebastian, you are conversing with Debbie Mendoza. She made you sandwiches. You're just conversing. Are you steering this conversation in any particular line of inquiry for the mystery, or are you just shooting the shit about other topics now?
Plenty of shooting the shit. Now, um, quick recap. One of the clues that we found at the library, there was an article about a series of break-ins.
Yeah.
It was reported by Hugh Mendoza, or were they committed by Hugh Mendoza? I forget.
Commented on by Hugh Mendoza. Like the clue, I believe it's like in like the newspapers. There was like, oh yeah, it seemed like a string in like home invasions and stuff like that. And Hugh was like the one that like, was interviewed in a little article for the local paper. And just mentioned his thoughts on like not feeling safe in his own community.
Hmm. Yeah, so I'll try to work the conversation around that. And like when were those break-ins occurring? Was it before the how many were there? Did she know anyone who was burglarized, things like that? Did Hugh say anything about them to her?
Hmm. I think you've done enough legwork here to justify rolling the meddling move with Debbie. It'll be with your presence. I actually think you're irritated, so that might make you a little brusque. It might make you come off a little, rude. It might even like make you seem like too hasty for like certain answers because you felt stymied. So you'll roll disadvantage from this.
I'll phrase it wrong so that it almost sounds like I'm accusing Hugh of being the
Yeah,
burglar,
right. Of being like,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
actually
exactly.
what I'm trying to discern
Suss
without
out.
looking
Yeah, yeah,
like it.
yeah. I like that a
Okay.
lot. So you'll roll disadvantage with a presence.
Yeah, damn it.
It's wild that we're in a campaign now because you're no longer the undeniable and you're not good at presence rolls.
Okay, so yeah, it's a flat zero. That is a 7.
Okay. Clue with a complication though. Um, yeah, here's your clue, right? She just comments very, just to summarize, for the sake of brevity, that it's like, very much what was like in the papers. And you're just like, oh yeah, like, Hugh had, like noticed something and it like freaked him out. And then there were other instances apparently, but like that's not the important bit. And she says like, well, actually, can I tell you something? Uh, I I had been at that house, uh, you know, a few nights around that time, um, and I saw a little, you know, blinking light on their answering machine. And look, I can be a bit of a snoop, and I had an off feeling about something I always do, and I didn't. Maybe I was wigged out because I didn't like being in that house, so I thought, fuck it. Who's leaving a message for my baby brother? And I just listened to it, and I don't know who was talking. I don't know the broader context, but they were just laying out threats, threatening Hugh, saying that they're going to make him regret this. Something about money, I think. Again, they were just mean. And whether or not that had anything to do with it, I couldn't tell you. But, I not necessarily believe in the most, I don't really believe in coincidences that much, but it was right around that time when, you know, that break-in happened was these threatening messages come around.
Was it a
So,
man or a woman who said it?
Riley, I couldn't tell you. It could have been either. I don't really remember that detail after all these years.
Making threats about money. Did he borrow from the wrong people?
You're asking the wrong lady. And um as for your complication, um your conversation is interrupted by a knock at the door. It's very like little, and you hear a little voice outside just going, "Debbie! Hi, Debbie. Are you in? Debbie?" And uh and Debbie just goes, "Well, fuck, we said her name and she appeared." "Yeah, one moment, patience. I'm on the shitter." And she just yells back at the door and snickers.
How might we have some fun with her to get rid of her?
Your guess is as good as mine. Um, and sure enough, standing on the stoop is the president of the local homeowners association herself, Patience Head, with her helmet hair and striped polyester blouse and very chunky jewelry, standing there when the door opened. Debbie's the one who really opens the door. And um, in Patience, she's like, "Hi, don't mean to, just dropping in real quick. Wanted to let you know, very much the usual shit. There's clearly a passive aggression happening here, but Patience is all sweet smiles and little eye bats. And then she notices you and she goes, "Oh, didn't realize you had company over. Hi, welcome to the neighborhood. You're not, you don't live here, do you?"
Hi, pleasure to meet you. My name is Sebastian. Tell me, ma'am, have
What's
you
the
ever given
question?
thought to the kingdom of heaven?
Oh.
It
She
is
just like gives like
always worth sparing a thought for what comes in the hereafter. Believe me, it is never too soon to give it a thought. Would you be interested in sitting down and learning all the wonderful things about the Church of Latter-day Saints?
you know, I actually have somewhere to be at the moment. Got a little HOA. I'm making blondies for a little HOA get together we're having. But I mean, as a church going woman myself, love to see Debbie finding some closer connections to Christ. Oh, you said your name was Sebastian. Oh, very nice to meet you. I don't have time to talk today, but hopefully you'll leave Debbie some literature here. Um, and well, I think I best skedaddle. But it was lovely meeting you, seeing you again, Debbie. I want to let's touch bases because I got some more phone calls from the land development firms because I the numbers are going up on the plot. I'm just saying. And she's like, okay, thanks, bye. Heading out of there.
Kingdom of
But
heaven is at hand.
but you're gonna take the condition marked by a patient's head, because she will remember you if she sees you snooping around and not talking about the kingdom of heaven. And but Debbie has a good snicker over that, and you will head out. Everett, you are parked in the middle of the street. It is a bright, cloudless day, the sun blazing down overhead, and this big man is just standing in the road, having not been there moments ago. Your car has just, you slam the brakes, you're staring at him, and he just takes a draw from his cigarette.
Poke my head out the window. Oh my God, are you okay? I did not. Oh, you just kind of popped up out of nowhere, didn't you? Sorry about that. I didn't. You're okay, right? I didn't hit you.
Oh, don't you worry your pretty little heart out too much about myself, Mr. Fontenot. You were quick to slam on the brakes there, but you narrowly avoided a most calamitous fate. You
What?
gotta be careful when you're out on the road. You never know what sort of things might be lurking about.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, my radio started acting weird. I'm usually much better at watching the road. Um,
You know what they say about radios? They are receivers and transmitters of signals. And a signal can be a powerful thing, Mr. Fontenot, as I'm sure you'll come to learn real soon.
Sorry, do I know you? Or sorry, I haven't been in town for years.
We have never met before this very occasion, Mr. Fontenot.
Oh, I guess you know my name, but I don't know yours.
Well, I suppose I have gone by many names over the years, but you can call me the Wanderer, because that's what I do. I wander, I observe, I remember, and I tell stories about the places I wandered to, about the people I see. I'm going to tell a story about you someday, and you can be sure of that. I wonder what kind of ending it will have.
Well, that's not cryptic at all. I maybe you could wander less in the road, more on the sidewalks in the future. Perhaps.
He looks around with a sort of coy, slightly surprised expression as if he's just realizing for the first time he's standing in the middle of the road. And he just gives you a little nod of his head and shuffles his bulk over to the sidewalk, tips his hat to you.
It was nice to meet you.
If you like a word of advice for your little predicament, it might behoove you to seek Christ. And then he just turns and just begins walking down the open street.
Wow. I wonder if he was with the guy shouting earlier.
And you drive off. I think that'll bring our day phase to a close. We don't have any moves that fire off during the dusk phase yet, but you don't have any Odyssey tapes to watch. You only have the one. You haven't found any more. And so it'll just be a regular night phase. Would you all like to attempt to answer a question since you have gathered a good number of clues for the house on Escondido Street, or do you want to sit on that for a bit?
I think we could maybe answer, how do we lure Elliot to us? I feel like we gotta save the kid, right?
Not there's much saving him. I think he might already be dead. Save his soul, maybe.
What would
You're
we
muted,
do with a
Tamara.
ghost child?
Mary,
They
you're
can
muted.
walk through walls.
Tamara, you're
Mary,
muted.
you're muted.
Curses.
I mean, yeah, if we can answer a question, let's go for it.
Yeah, I think that I mean, how many clues do we have?
You're
7?
still muted, Tamara. All right. Well,
I was just agreeing.
oh, okay. Got you.
Nothing important. Sorry.
Got you. No, cool.
So how do we lure him?
Is that the question you want to answer? Yeah, you want to answer that? Just how do you lure Elliot out? All right.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, we got 7 clues. It's complexity 2. Who's got a theory?
I feel like we
Honest-
could work with this door drawing for sure.
I was about to say that. I think the door in the Smarties would be a way to
We'd
pull-
knock on the door and leave a pile of Smarties in front of it.
We can
Oh my god, that sounds
old
perfect.
school
Actually,
cartoon like Scooby Doo style. Just put it out in in
Oh,
a
shit.
trail.
Speaking of, I didn't update that clue.
Oh, we got it.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, it still counts. Yeah, I get it though.
That, and I think maybe also using the picture of the third unknown child
I
to be
was
like,
thinking
hey, we
that-
know about that,
Or
and to
is
bring
that
him
scary? Because what if whatever happened to him was trauma?
in. Yeah, true. I think it's
only
better
one
than
way to
these.
find out.
Only one way to find out.
I also
Okay.
see an angle with
Mhm.
the photo album. We've seen lots of pictures of the family around. Maybe if we find the actual summer camp photos and put the proper pictures in the photo album, that would help bring him back.
Oh, okay. I see what you're going for.
Take out those evil pictures and put in the actual pictures that were in the parents' bedroom in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
to
that's
actually
cute.
find the right photos and put them back in the
Mhm.
album as cleansing the bad memories away to lure him out.
If
Yeah,
this
I
were
sort
an
of-
Yeah, we already took
Instagram,
out the
that would
photos
be
anyway. They're on the fridge.
So I mean, the photo album's just still there.
Oh, I really like that. So if that's using the not that one. Okay, that's pretty cool. What's the relevance of using that door underneath painted beneath his
That's where
his
he's
closet?
coming in and out of.
Oh, okay. So it's
Knock
like
Since
on
he's a
it,
ghost,
leave the
that's his
Smarties,
drawing
and
of how
summon him.
he's entering
I
in
think
now.
it's a weird time thing where he's kind of stuck out of time because he's still 10. And I think that the photo album is an anchor.
Yeah.
And then this door is where we need to bring him through to
I
put
like
him
it.
back in the right time.
that's a really good theory. We rocking with just those 3 clues?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I think Eric should be thrown to roll.
Okay.
+1.
Ooh, okay. 11.
Hey, very nice.
Nice.
Okay.
So, right?
That was 11 total with the +1.
Yes, I rolled a 6-4 and then +1.
Incredible. Okay. So you have unlocked, you will be able to unlock Elliot as a reward once you've lured him out. So you still need to do that. You'll need to actually, go to the house and lure him so he'll come before you. 10 plus. I'll make a note of this. Very good though. you have answered that question. And I take it we're gonna continue to leave the actual overarching question of what happened, a mystery remaining still so far. All right, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Let's move on. We didn't mark any new keys to the child, so I don't think we have any new flashbacks to do. And let's talk about what each of you will be doing during the upcoming night phase. Because you're not watching an Odyssey tape, you all get to do, effectively the same thing as like a day phase, like 2 actions during a nighttime. Although, the night still is dangerous, though it's not on a timer necessarily. Let's go around here and hear what everyone wants to do. Dahlia.
I would like to find a computer so I can Google this gaming company and unlock my clue.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Good to know. Everett, what about you?
I am very wary of the house, but I think after hearing about Elliot, I would like to go lure him. And then since it's another phase, if anyone wants to come with and maybe a nostalgic move on the way again.
We're in a nostalgic move there. Who can say?
Oh, or there.
What about Max?
Um, I think that I don't know. There's really not. I don't want to go back in that house tonight, honestly. I think after spending enough time over there, and then I guess I would maybe consider going with Everett just because it's like, hey man, the place is spooky and I'll be there, but um, I don't know. I might need another moment to think on that.
No worries. What about Sebastian?
Sebastian is going to drive around town and visit some old familiar places and reminisce. So, like
Okay.
his old schools and his childhood home.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Yeah, I guess if he's gonna go do that, then I think I will go with Everett then, and head along back to the house and try and help lure out Elliot since I'm kind of the one that like found it and I can point it all out to him.
Frame it as Everett asking Max to. It's like, Max, the house is so scary. Please come with me.
I know. I yeah, it's haunted for sure. But let's go. Let's just get
Hell
it
yeah.
over with.
All right.
Hey Seb, if you're like driving around, could you drop me off at the library? I need to use the computer.
Yeah, sure thing.
Sick.
Okay.
Wait, Seb?
Oh, I mean, unless you hate it. No worries.
Usually, when it was shortened, people just called me Bastion, like never ending story.
Ooh, Bastion. I like that.
People sang that song at me so much when that movie came out.
Oh, maybe annoying. Good movie though.
Good movie. All right. Let's move to the night phase and take a short break. The night phase. Dahlia, you're dropped off out front of the Deep Lake Municipal Library. The street lights have turned on. The sky is sort of like a dark navy blue twilight, and as you're walking up, you can see that there's still lights on it inside, like past like the glass front door, though. The sign has been flipped to closed. You can see like the hours of the library. It seems like you just missed getting into the library, but the lights are still on, and you can like see past the opening and like the little front desk where the librarian is, the same figure that um Max and Sebastian met, sort of this like woman with a wedge haircut and like, Zuni turquoise jewelry, just very deep faced wrinkles. She's kind of squinting at what looks to be like, from the glow of a computer screen. She's like tip tapping away, looking, away and not noticing you. But the librarian's still in, but it seems that the
Okay.
place is closed up.
Okay, I'm gonna knock. I like
You
knock on the door. I'm like, hey, hi.
you knock on the glass. It takes you a couple knocks before she like looks up at the door. Her eyes are very keen. You know that she's got like the you'd expect like a librarian to have, the glasses with the little chain attached to the back of them, and that she does. But there's like a real like sharpness to her eyes that makes you think she doesn't really need them. She like looks up from the desk at you, and like just holds that stare for a moment. And she gets up very slowly, and just, paces around the side of the desk, walks up to the front of the door, never breaking eye contact with you. And you see that she has these very, piercing azure blue eyes. She looks at you and she just like tap, 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 taps the sign.
Yeah, I totally know. And I'm so sorry. I'm just like really in a jam.
She sighs and goes to unlock the door a little bit, and she like opens it a smidge, just so she's looking back out at you. Um, and she says, "What sort of jam?"
I'm so sorry. I just really needed to look up some information on this very specific company, and I don't have a computer because I'm kind of analog and I only brought a typewriter with me. And I was really trying to make it here before close, but I just missed it. And if I could just borrow your computer for 1 second, I would be like so grateful forever.
Hmm. She looks at you, just stares. Well, knowledge is important. And she just like, nods and like, gestures you in, and she'll let you in. And she like, closes the door behind you, like locks the door back. She like glances, left and right down the street. Um, and she says, "We've got computer cubbies over there in the back corner by the picture books. I don't use them much myself, but you're more than welcome to. Um, the password is guest."
Thank you so much. I'm
Um,
Dahlia, by the way.
I am Lupe Montero.
Thank you so much, Ms. Montero. I like
It's
really
think nothing
appreciate
of
it.
it. Just one thing. What are you here to look up?
Have you ever heard of that crying game? You know, the one like kids used to play back in like, I don't know, when I was in high school?
It's a dangerous thing to play games with spirits and entities. I don't touch those things myself, Ouija boards. That crying circle game, yes, I have heard of it. Hmm,
Well, I'm like looking into the company that made it.
I see. Well, she shrugs.
I don't
While
know. I'm
the
just
while
like,
the understanding of knowledge is all well and good, it is the preservation, she gestures like the bookshelves, in which I found my calling. I may never understand how a microwave or a desktop computer works, nor do I need to. But that knowledge is here for those who look. It would be a great tragedy to wander aimlessly for answers, don't you think?
yes.
One moment. And she just like goes around to the desk again, pulls a little slip of paper and like scribbles something onto it. And she says, "When you're looking up your queries, make sure you add this to the search." And she has a little, she's written a name down in quotes for you to apparently as a research aid, very mysterious and cryptic.
All right. Well, groovy. Thank you. I'll um I'll be quick and like go off towards the computer.
Yeah, you head over into like the corners of the library to research from the glow of a computer screen. Sebastian, you're driving around, just taking it in, hitting up the familiar places, drive by your old childhood home. You soak in the memories. Um, like most everyone else, you went to school in La Fresca, where La Fresca High is, and also the middle school. Deep Lake is so small that only homeschool education happens here if kids don't go up to the seat of the county for actual schooling. So you're just going on like a long drive, and you end up out by the water tower. The Deep Lake Water Tower has a very realistically rendered eyeball painted on one side with the words, "The eye of Deep Lake is upon you," beneath it. But let's paint the scene, everyone. There are countless rumors about unsavory things that have been fished out of the water tower over the years. What story have you heard?
I go
The
there.
Rod
I was gonna say, there's a rumor that they found a kid that had climbed up and fell into the water tower and drowned.
I was gonna say the Rodriguez's family dog went missing and was found weeks later in the water tower.
In high school, I remember some of the less savory people on the basketball team bragging about how they threw beer cans and used condoms in there.
Like to add a layer to the kid and the dog that were found. When they were fished out, they were more like half fish, half person, half animal.
So you're out here looking up at the tower. What's going through your mind right now, Sebastian?
Thinking back to the thing at the community college, the time I impersonated my brother at his basketball camp.
Mm. Yeah, you're reminiscing on this. You're stirred back to awareness by the crunch of wheels on the ground. You see a police cruiser is like rolling up behind your car. Lights not flashing, no siren, just pulls off the road and like comes to a stop. And I mean, the man who gets out of the car is inarguably handsome. Um, 5 o'clock shadow. No, wait, wrong. I'm looking at the wrong thing. As I described the sheriff before, very square jawed, handsome, and man, he smells really good, like Old Spice and Big Red Gum. He just like closes the door of his cruiser as he gets out and is just like looking up at the water tower, like just nods off your direction. And he just goes, "Oh, evening.
Hey,
Not often that I also see people stop by the water tower. You you thinking about just, I guess, the good old days?"
something like that.
Yeah. I sometimes come out here on patrols at night. Uh, just stop by. Me and my friends, we once threw some beer cans and condoms up there when we were in high school.
Seems to be a time-honored tradition in this town.
Yep.
One can only imagine how many things that eye has seen.
Yeah. Lots and lots, I'm sure. And some things that are, I don't know, pretty strange. Yeah. He shrugs and he like looks over at you and he says, Bill Hanscom. I'm the sheriff around these parts.
Sebastian Melmoth.
Oh yeah, you're one of the four that moved in on Rodenbecker Street. I think I met one of your I guess housemates. The Max, that was his name. Yeah, Max. He's a guy who looks like he walked off of some goth punk industrial show with the locks and everything.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah. Well, is it true that you four used to live here?
Yeah, when we were kids.
Damn. He like looks you up and down as if he's like sizing you up. Well, I guess I would have been in high school back when you lived here. Man, those were good times. Let me tell you. football games on Friday night, house parties on Saturdays, and sleeping it all off on Sunday after church, of course. Uh, yeah, good old days. Good old days. Well, I was just passing by. Just wanted to, I don't know, have a word, shoot the shit. Nice to meet you, kid.
Same.
But be safe out there. Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out.
You point at the wire tower and you say that. The
Mhm.
big giant eye. Yeah, incredible. He just chuckles, nods, and gets back in his car, and the police cruiser drives off. Everett and Max. You're in the TV room. Let's paint the scene. Looking around, how do you know this was the most frequented room in the house?
The cushions of the couch have indents and are more worn in places to show where they used to sit. They must have sat here a lot.
The floor in the living room is well trafficked. The carpet itself is pressed down, while the ones in the hallway is a little bit more cushioned.
There's a couple of trays that are used to like hold TV dinners with legs that slide under the couch and things like that.
Uh, Muted.
How many times am I gonna do that tonight? I was just asking you to say the prompt again.
Yeah, yeah. How can you tell that this is the TV room is was the most frequented
Oh,
room in
right,
the
right,
house?
right. There's like worn spots in the um like still after all this time, like dents where people would sit every night. Like they had like assigned seating almost, you can tell. And like the sofas and chairs and stuff.
What are the two of you doing? What's your plan here?
Well,
How do you want to bring this ghost kid back, man?
something about the photographs, right? We should probably go up to the parents' room, the master bedroom.
Is the photo album still downstairs?
No,
I think
no,
we brought it with
Dahlia,
us.
Dahlia took it with you. Yeah.
Oh, yes, we have it.
Mhm.
Empty now. Is the VCR still on?
Oh yeah, blinking light still going.
VCR still on.
That's awful.
Just as
Anyway.
creepy as last time.
I'm gonna go over to Elliot's room. You can grab the pictures in the parents' room. It's right on the dresser mirror, and I'll make sure the closet's cleared out for the door and start setting up the candy.
Okay. We got lots of Smarties, right?
I like dig into my pocket and it's just like a handful. I think this is enough.
All of the Smarties that the Big Sun convenience store could possibly give you. And you two split. Everett, you go around grabbing photographs off the walls. You pass by the kitchen and dining room, and there's a pretty not great smell coming from the dining room, and how the house is dark. Um, how are you feeling right now?
I
And
learned
given
our
what-
lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But
Go ahead.
I learned our lesson from last time. I brought a flashlight.
Incredible. You shine the
Um,
flashlight around.
I do not look in the dining room. I say, well, I don't want to know where that smell's coming from.
And you going around collecting photographs and grabbing what you can.
I think he looks at one
Hmm.
and has to do like a double take.
Now you shouldn't have said you looked at one.
I have to look at the photographs to put them in.
Because when you're picking the photographs, you look at one and then you look at one, and it's not any of the Mendozas. You look at the photograph, it's Jordan Lee in his summer Speedo.
This is creepy in a different way. Why? He's a child.
No, 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 no. This is Jordan as you imagine he must be as a very good looking adult. Though you've certainly never seen him, though. You know that this must be Jordan Lee. And he's giving you a almost like seductive, like little wink to the photographer.
This house is really fucked up. I put the picture down.
I want you to make the night move. What are you afraid of happening here if you lose your nerve?
I'm afraid that something's going to reach out of the photograph and grab me.
Hmm. No, it's worse than that. Something is going to come out and be stalking you now through the house and kill you.
Great.
Now, before you roll, though, I'm going to have the empty VCR impose disadvantage because I think from the TV room, you begin to hear whispering coming from inside the VCR. And that'll give you disadvantage. And because of a special rule at the house, you must immediately also take the condition haunted.
Great. Amazing.
Mhm.
We love it.
You can choose to back down from this roll as any night move by simply deciding fuck this house, and you just like drop all the photographs in a place maybe Max will find them, and you just leave.
Can't do that. I can't do that to Max.
Okay.
Disadvantage. I don't think any of my items are going to help here. So, what's this with? Sensitivity?
Mm-hmm.
-1. We love to see it. Okay. It's a good roll. It's a 8 -1. So,
Okay, so 7. We'll come back to you. Max, you're laying out little pieces of Smarties candy starting in the bedroom. And as you're laying them out, you stop because you're stepping on something on the ground that wasn't there when you first came down the hallway. And you look down and you're stepping on a record, a vinyl, like record, sleeve.
Shit. Almost broke that. Okay.
And you step to the side, and you can like look, and you see a line of just dropped and discarded record sleeves going down the hallway towards the master bedroom door. They are you recognize every single one of them from your dad's record collection that used to rifle through frequently. And you hear from the master bedroom, very softly, music.
King Crimson. Nah, this place is trying to lure me. I haven't seen these records in a minute. No, we're here to catch a kid. I'm not getting caught. Nope. And I'll just continue to pick up the record behind me and put it off
As
to the
you
side.
turn to ignore that, you hear a voice coming from the master bedroom, and it's your mother's voice. It just says, "Hey, hon, can you turn that down?" And the
Not
door
gonna respond.
creaks open. Okay.
I'm not,
Hey, hon.
not turning down my music. I'm just gonna.
It's the night move. What are you afraid of happening here? You're trying to ignore this thing. What happens if you fail?
I'm afraid it's gonna come. I'm afraid I'm gonna be a kid again, and my door is gonna get kicked open, and my mom is going to no longer be saying, "Hun, turn it off." It's gonna be like how she used to do it.
Oh, and it's worse than that because it won't just be loud, it will be violent. Um, you can roll with sensitivity, and your disadvantage because of haunted.
Say. All mid rolls. 4 and a 3 is a 7.
7. I'll also come back to you. Dahlia, you're typing away on the internet, looking things up. And sure enough, between your own little rabbit holes that you dig down using the information from the box and the publisher, the maker, and the name Lupe, the librarian, gave you, you dig up some interesting information. But it's in using the name Lupe gave you that you go down some interesting rabbit holes. You end up on some like conspiracy theory boards, to say the least, and they're very obscure, niche, ones, like not popular. They're actually maybe even just like a sliver removed from the Deep Lake Odyssey forums where you all met, which talked about the whole, Deep Lake and the TV Odyssey mysteries and all that, and the Odyssey tapes. Like this is just like another like local offshoot conspiracy board for like very like maybe like 6 people in Degoya County use this messaging board that you end up finding. And uh, there's one user who just seems to be the majority online. It's online right now and is, clearly like, not posting anything, but like it just shows them as, online, lurking. Um, but as for the fruits of your labor, I will give you this. So you learn that the creator of the Crying Circle, a man named Hieronymus Whately, was, you see like, you find like some like, out of date, really out of date, like really early internet shit, like old websites and occultism, kind of like related stuff. And you learn that this guy, this creator of the board game, Hieronymus Whately, he was also apparently a like expert on astral projection. Like he wrote like books on it. Like you can even see like you can dig up like an author photo of him. You don't really find any more details about that, but like that's the actual clue, is that evidence that Hieronymus Whately, the creator of the Crying Circle, was an expert on astral projection. In addition to apparently having a foray into game design. Here's where all those conspiracy board things come up, because one of the the ranting and ravings of this guy who seems to actually like live in Deep Lake specifically. You actually might even like recognize this user from the Deep Lake Odyssey forums, who was like really maybe posted once or twice, but you didn't really connect the dots. That apparently this guy also lives in Deep Lake. You make note of his username for later. But he's like ranting and like raving on the forum board, being like, it's not just a coincidence that the, that the inventor of, actually, you know what? I think actually, let me reframe my phrasing of this a little bit. It's not this guy who's saying, this part of it, but this is like, it harkens back to comments on the Deep Lake. You go back to the Deep Lake Odyssey forums. Maybe you even read this blog before you even moved here. You just didn't realize it was relevant, because people talking about the whole mystery of TV Odyssey and Deep Lake from this forum, there's this mention of like, it's not a coincidence that the inventor and owner of the studio, Phineas Whately, was related to another occultly involved people. There's like so many rumors. That whole family is like known for like weird and esoteric shit, dating back a long time. And Phineas, like, Whately, invented the very cameras that the studio used. He like promised like new camera technology that can capture footage so clear it's like you're right there in the studio. And that like people talk about the Odyssey tapes and how like the first program that aired was Fireside Chats with Phineas Whately. And this is actually even like where like the user who apparently like lives in Deep Lake, and you see like kind of like online in certain boards, is even like throws out there that like even though he has no idea what this TV Odyssey thing is, he doesn't remember it, and he's pretty sure it never existed. Strangely enough, he does vividly remember watching Fireside Chats. And the thing is, then there's like a thread of comments below that. Everyone remembers watching Fireside Chats. Dahlia, you remember watching Fireside Chats, and you weren't alive when they aired because they aired in the late 70s. How does this make you feel?
Bewildered?
Take the condition bewildered. Meanwhile, Sebastian, you are. Oh, where are you? Where do we find you now?
I have a crazy idea. Sebastian is still at the water tower, and
Mm-hmm.
against his better judgment, he is going to climb this water tower and see if there's anything in it.
Yeah. You climb up to the very top of the water tower, up the ladder, hand over hand. Some of the rungs groan beneath you. Oh, maybe this wasn't a good idea. But you get to the top, you look in through the opening in the dark surface of the water at night. Clouds have rolled in, kind of like obfuscating the moon, just faint slivers of it. And you shine a light down there, and you don't see anything, just the water rippling back, dispersing your light. And then you hear directly next to you, one must ponder what might be found in the depths of a darkest ocean. And you can like look next to you and probably jump with surprise. Um, uh, at there's suddenly standing next to you the biggest man you've ever seen, just casually smoking a cigarette. Um, how much of a jumper, flincher would you say Sebastian is?
At this particular moment, quite a bit. Like he fumbles his flashlight and he like drops it. Like, what the fuck?
I think I'll have it be the day move for I think the very obvious reason of what are you afraid of happening when you get scared at the top of a water tower?
Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm more afraid of falling to the ground or falling into the water.
Either one would be bad. It will be with your we'll say composure. Um, and honestly, you I don't think any of your conditions actually apply here.
Okay, plus one. Four, three, one is eight.
8. Okay. You don't fall off or in, thankfully. But uh I'll narrate the actual what's the day move? So yeah. So because this is less of a situation where it's like, oh, if you choose to back down or go through with it, or if you effectively I'm going to give you let's see. Oh, I have an idea. Oh, no, I know exactly. You don't fall. However, uh you had I think you were using the light from your camcorder as like an actual like flashlight. You like pull that because yeah, you carry that around with you, right? Pull out your old camcorder and you like shine that and you drop it. So you watch it plummet off of the water tower and then just shatter to the desert below. So you will lose your old camcorder.
No.
And the big man just glances over the edge and says, I don't suppose you can record with that anymore.
Harry doesn't even hear what he's saying. It was innocent.
It is indeed a thing of grief to lose that which you have an affinity towards. You see through certain veneers.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I already answered that in the previous scene, but I'll do you one better. I'll ask you a question. Where are you? Gesturing at the dark open desert. Look around you, son.
I'm
What do
pissed
you?
off. That's where I am.
Indeed. Rage, emotions, and anger, they boil and seethe beneath the flesh. They can stir, heat the blood, but more potent than that, they can ripple like the surface of water. They can echo out to influence other things. Like, for example, anger or sadness so profound that it ripples to the very core of one's spirit, leaving resonant markings upon this ancient earth. I suppose you might call them ghosts. Just blows a little billow of smoke out into your face.
What exactly are you smoking there, buddy?
Oh, this. He just looks at his cigarette. It's a bit of a personal vice, really. Something to take the edge off. Really, though, I'm just supposed to have it. Now, I want you to think real hard about how you're gonna answer this question next, because I'm gonna ask it to you again. Look around, Mr. Melmoth. Where are you now?
I am in the middle of my childhood town where I grew up, standing at the top of a water tower with the Eye of God painted on the side, talking to a very strange guy who knows my name.
Hmm, close. You're really close. Though it is not the eye of divine providence painted upon this here tower. It's something else, though that is neither hither nor thither.
Who is it? Dr. TJ Eckelberg or some shit?
Uh, no, but I hear what I say next, and you can it well. You are here in the desert, young man. This patch of desert right here, what the people in this century refer to as Degoya County. It's an old, old place. Some might say it's the oldest place. It might even be older than the sun. Remember that. And he just turns and just takes a step off the tower and just
Hey,
plunges into blackness. You look back down the over edge and there's nothing.
nothing but my shattered camcorder.
We cut back. Everett and Max. The results of your rolls. Everett, you got a 7 to 9. So the good news is you do it. However, no, I'll get to you in a second. I want to do Max first. Max, you do not go in the room. You shake that off and you decide, no, 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 not going to do that. And as you turn to go down the hallway, you see a young boy the one in the green shirt, the one from the photographs. It's Elliot standing at the far end of the hallway. He's peeking around a corner, eyes wide, shy and fearful. And you see him, he sees you. He just points behind you. And you turn around just in enough time to see a vinyl record spinning violently towards your head.
Dodge
Uh,
out the way.
It's the night move. I think, what are you afraid of happening if you don't dodge it?
I think I'm gonna get a vinyl stuck into my like eye, and I'm gonna go blind.
No, it's worse than that. It's going to kill you on impact.
Ah,
Yeah.
even worse.
This will be with with sensitivity still disadvantage because you know what? I'll say that vitality actually. I think that even though this is supernatural related, I want we'll say that this is vitality, but you do have disadvantage.
Gotcha.
This is less directly supernatural and more like something is being whipped at you.
Yeah. Can I use something out of the corner of my house?
If you make an argument, it can make an argument for it.
It's actually the Beatles record, the best of the Beatles. It's my
Oh.
record that's coming at me. I'm gonna catch it.
Oh. Wild that it gives you an advantage, but I love that. I'll take it. So you get they roll that flat.
That's a present. No.
Know that record.
I know that record. 6 and a 4 plus 2.
So 12. In fact, I'll just say that your advantage that you get from rolling a 12 on this is you can clear the condition torn hands, that your hands have like healed enough and you're just like quick enough that you catch it, that it's no longer like a concern that affects you. But go ahead and just like describe, what happens.
I think that as it's like he points, I whip around. I see it's like hurtling towards me. I see like the logo and I go, that's mine. And I grab it and then notice that it doesn't hurt my hands as it kind of like does smash into it. And I go, oh, I guess I'm okay. And I think I did tuck that one away. Like, or just like hold on to it while I like look back towards Elliot. And I go,
And he's gone.
thanks. I still like out loud.
Yeah.
I'll be like, thanks, man.
Everett, from your role, you look at this picture and you set it down. Nothing really else untoward happens. You can actually like like when you like walk out of the room, like blink, you look at it again, and it's actually a photo of the Mendozas. It's not a photo that of one of your boyhood crushes as a grown up in a Speedo. That's normal as far as that goes. But you hear a little squeaking sound like on glass, and you can glance off to the side, the window that you're passing by, and like it with like a fog in the window, a little invisible finger is writing a word visible. It's writing the exact contents of a note you wrote one of your early boyhood crushes that probably didn't go well. I don't know. But the point is it then like writes this out with a little question mark, like, do you like me? Question mark. And then it's just like violently scribbled out. How does that make you feel?
Trying to think of a good way to. It makes me feel like I'm trying to think of a good word to describe it. It makes me feel small. Like,
Yeah, just take the condition. I feel
little.
small.
Okay.
Yeah. And while you're reminiscing on that, Max can come around the corner, and no more phantasmal events seem to be happening at the moment once you're back in each other's company, and you set back to the task and you lay out the candies. You've put the photos back in the book. You leave them and you sit on the couch and you wait, and eventually
May
you have to
I
go.
describe a small detail?
I would love to. Yeah.
There's a moment where I look at one of the photos and I have to do a double take. It's the photo that transformed back to a picture of the Mendozas because it's at a summer camp and on a tree in the background. There's a small little makeshift plastic axe, like a little puppet wields, stuck in a tree behind them.
And we'll zoom in on that detail. And I think that's where we'll close the night phase. Let's go to the dawn. Let's answer dawn questions. No one resolved the mystery. Dahlia, did you share a good memory from your childhood? You're muted, by the way, just in case you didn't know. Just letting you know in advance.
I give up. It's for the best, really. Did I share a memory from my childhood? Not really.
I share a good memory. Yeah, I don't know if a good one came up. I don't know
No.
if it came out of the nostalgic scene.
Yeah,
I don't believe so.
that was mostly sad on my
Yeah.
part. I was just
Yeah,
like, I
it's
didn't
mostly
have
sad.
friends.
Did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
I feel like the only one you can make an argument for is like talking with the librarian. a
I would
little
also
bit.
argue. Well, I would just argue just
And-
like the whole like talking to like Samantha thing. I don't know. I felt like that like you were kind
yeah,
of like
I mean, yeah.
we'll help. We'll you'll go drive. I'll go look around here. Like it's like this is Everett's friend. Like this is a person who lives here. It felt like very like I feel like you were giving your
refreshing my
time.
memory about the Rodenbeckers and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, you can take that one.
Yeah, I'll take
Everett, you did just receive a signal from the other side, so you can mark that, obviously. Were you vulnerable with someone in this episode? Yes, you were. Did you cut loose for once?
I don't think I did. I was gonna
No.
aim for it there at the end, then we
Yeah, I think
didn't
that
quite
is
get it in.
didn't quite get it in. You can cut. So that'll be 2 for you though. Max, did you receive a signal from the other side?
I don't think so yet.
Were you vulnerable with someone?
No, not yet. I don't think so.
Did you
Okay.
go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
No, this session I was pretty much just by myself.
That's fair. And Sebastian, did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
Yeah, I drove around
Yep.
checking out the old haunts.
Sure did. And did you cut loose for once?
Not that loose. Although, I guess
Would you
pranking the
pretending? Yeah, I think pranking Patient's head as like a member of the fucking
Mormon church.
Mormon church is like pretty. I think that's like it seemed like you were having a laugh. You were cutting loose. Yeah, I think so. I think that counts. You can take 2. All right, and that will be our session, everyone. Let's go to Stars and Wishes.
I'll start because how dare you, Alex, use our masks against us? The nerve.
it.
How rude.
Yes.
No, it was amazing. I loved it. That was great. I love Debbie. And I hope we come back to see her again because I'm obsessed. She's great. Also love that the smoke smell came back around because she was like, "Oh, you want one?" And she was like surprised when he didn't smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And then she made me really sad when she was like, "If I just keep the house the same, maybe they'll come back." I don't know. It kind of hit me. I like the weird time shenanigans with Max implied to have like almost hit himself with his own car. An all-around star for the Wanderer, the big man. And then the sheriff mentioning that he threw beer cans and condoms into the water tower. Malachi, a star for your mask. And honestly, I'm really curious about Oscar and where that's kind of going. You also mentioned like Cain and Abel, and like there's something there, and I'm really excited to see it come around with like your keys and stuff. How do you use our keys against you? I said masks. Also, Sebastian being really angry about the HOA caught me kind of off guard and really tickled me, as well as the posing as the missionary to get rid of patience. Just a great scene there with Debbie. Going up to climb the water tower at night is insane, and I respect it. What a great move. I loved it. Kyle, Max is making me so sad with his past. There's a lot of troubledness going on there. And also a star to Max for just putting in the work. We were out there getting clues, working on the mystery, really making it go. Samara, you had your mask was great, but there were 2 lines in there that really got me. It was a stiff cup of Kool-Aid to take the edge off. Is the funny one. But then people called it lonely. I called it perfect. Really sweet. I love that. And then also describing the fact that she had like a little pinned travel map with only 2 places pinned is so sad and depressing. Wishes. I feel like Everett's gone off with Dahlia and Max a couple times, and I feel like we haven't really gotten to see Everett with Sebastian very much. So I wish to get us in a scene together. I wish to answer the question for the house on Escondido Street. I am cooking up a theory, and I'm kind of excited about it. We'll see if it maintains as we find more clues. Of course, we can always change, but I think I've got something. And oh, quick clarification: is the official clue for following up about the crying game that the founder,
Hieronymus Whately.
Hieronymus Whately, was an expert in astral projection?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure before I fix that clue.
Yeah, I'll spell it in the chat.
Please do. Thank you so much. Wow,
Wow,
that's not how I
that's
spelled
not
it
what
at
I
all.
would have guessed at all.
That'll be my stars and wishes. Great session too. Just had so much fun. I love playing with you guys.
Okay. Stars. To start out with, everyone's keys at the beginning. Those were a lot of fun. Eric, yours was very thematically accurate for the 90s. Discovering your first crush and coming to terms with that. That was good. Tamara, yours was quite wholesome, I found. Uh, and just all the references that were in there, the Kool-Aid, Scooby-Doo, Murder She Wrote. God, I love Murder She Wrote. And the drawing and the writing and being carried to bed by your mom. That was really nice. Uh, and Kyle, it's been said yours was rather lonely. Uh, just coming home, jimmying the lock with a screwdriver, and a reference to the birthday coming up when mom wasn't at home. Really looking forward to seeing what that turns out to be in maybe a later key of the child, but we shall see. I don't know if I was the only one who noticed this, but Tamara, you kind of brought a new demeanor with your character that I don't really know how to describe, but it was kind of in the way that you spoke and the words you used, like there were a lot of likes and whatevers and harsh my vibe and the way you tried to charm the librarian to get inside. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, but it was a good development. Um, Let me see. Uh, Alex, your portrayal of all the NPCs was great. One that really stood out to me that I really hope we see again, that's a wish of mine, is the Doomsayer, the end is nigh guy. Repent, this place is haunted. He's going to be a lot of fun, I can tell. And of course, the Wanderer himself. His voice was perfect. That thing where he said, I spoke this because I'm supposed to. I feel like that was a bit of a meta joke. Like that's just how he was written. So yeah,
And
he
him
was hilarious.
commenting, I already answered that in the other scene.
Oh yeah, I was gonna star that. It's so funny.
Then of course Sheriff Handsome reminiscing about the water tower. Let's see, what else? Harkening back to Everett's first crush and Max's records was of course genius. The house was taunting them while they were trying to mess with it. And then, of course, the connection to the Waitley cameras. As soon as I heard that name, I thought, wait a second. At the end of our last campaign, it was shipped off to America. Are we going to see it again? That's another wish of mine. Uh, so, yeah, I'm really interested in seeing where this goes because there are a lot of threads to pull here. There's the guy on the message boards that is really into the whole Waitley camera connection. Um, the fact that we all remember these shows that we could not have possibly seen. So yeah, I really wish to see more of those and pull all those threads and see what we can do with our characters. So yeah, I want more nostalgic moments between all of us. And I look forward to hearing more of our Keys of the Child because these are some interesting people we're making here. So that's me.
Oh yeah, I can go next.
Oh,
Okay, you go.
sorry. Exact same time. Star for everyone's keys. But also star for how depressing we as a group made Samantha. I was like, this is so fucked up and sad. And it just kept getting worse. Um, Also a star for like we we haven't been playing much, but it's nice to see like the group interactions and dynamic, like different pairings off, and it was nice. It was really cool. I liked all the little interactions. You guys going to the house, and even our little interaction about you dropping me off at the library. It was nice. Oh,
Oh,
and
by the
our
way,
scene in the car. What?
something I forgot. I checked my corner of the house. I have an old dial-up modem, so you didn't have to go to the library.
I like how you didn't stop me.
Yeah, I like to think Dahlia actually did not know how to work it, so she's like, "I'm going to the library."
Go to the library. I can't figure this out. Um, and then let's see. Oh, Eric. I was dying at Everett telling what is very obviously like a being of some sort, not like a person. He was like, "Excuse me, Mr. Being, sir, can you not stand in the road? It's really stressing me out." It was really funny. Um, Star for Everett, like your mask was like very like kind of like typically closeted like sad in the beginning, but I really liked how he was like it's like different now. And I was like, "Oh, good. I good for Everett. I love that for him." So star for him like loving himself and being good with it. Also star for Everett being brave. You told me in the very beginning that you hated the house and you didn't want to go back, and then you chose to go back at its darkest and spookiest. And also didn't run away when you could have because you didn't want to leave Max behind, and I thought that was really nice. Um, Everett's really like golden retriever boy, and I love it. Kyle, star for the very valid and realistic reaction of that girl is catatonic and we are not licensed medical professionals. I don't know what you want me to do about that. Star for boldly using a key when they are being eaten up out from under us. I appreciate it. I respect it. Star for catching your own record. I like how you made the situation 1,000 times creepier. Um, but it like worked out for you, so that was really cool. Malachi, yeah, I also had a star for whatever is going on with you and your brother. Your mask was really good, and I have a lot of questions. Um, Star for spine is a double helix. That really cracked me up. I was very amused. Star for a Gatsby reference. I love any kind of Fitzgerald reference. Um, Alex, star for the smoker's voice. That was getting me. That was so good. Star for the reluctant, you're funny, I'll give you that. I don't know, it just really got me. It was right after the double helix thing. The whole interaction really killed me. We we really ran through NPCs tonight, and you really crushed keeping them all like distinct and separate. Star for that. And almost dying because you looked at a photograph is actually crazy. More dangerous indeed than haunting monsters and eldritch gods. Star for that. So, wishes. I'm excited to see our characters develop and interact with each other more. Um, a wish to get a ghost boy. I would love that. Um, I also wish that someone gets a dog, and maybe it'll be me because I want our Scooby Doo gang to have a Scooby. Unless the child is our, that feels weird though. Yeah, those are my wishes. Great session. I'm excited to keep playing.
Yeah, I'll go next. Since most of mine have already been said, I'll just kind of go down the line. Eric, really liked your key. It was really great. I thought it was, as was already said, a great insight into what it was like having to kind of hide yourself and figuring yourself out. but then also at the end being like, things are better now. I also agree that was very good. I liked our interactions uh into the house. I do appreciate you being brave and staying with me. Max would have been like, okay, at least he's got the car running. Hopefully he didn't drive off. Um, for Malachi, I loved your key. Also, I love the building of you and your brother, and it's I'm just really excited to learn more about Sebastian. I know you and I have hung out quite a bit, but also just waiting for more info to drop on you. Um, yes, I also liked your interactions uh with Debbie. Probably my favorite interactions of this session was with you, her, and then the HOA lady coming in. That whole bit was great. And then Tamara, yes, I loved your Kia also. Just absolutely crushed it with also you being like, oh, I'm going last, and then you absolutely crushed it. So shush. Um, I also agree with the bit at the end where it was like some would call it lonely. I would call it perfect. There are those, and it was nostalgic for me in person too, because it's like, oh yeah, I remember when I was carried to bed in that half awake kind of a way, and it's just a lovely nostalgic feeling. And so, thank you for giving me that. Um, and then Alex, all the voices, all the NPCs were great. The sound effects were wonderful. I'm excited to see more of the Wanderer slash the big man. All these inferences from other Brindleverse things, the Between and the Whateleys and all this. I'm just ready to pick this stuff apart, even though I think Max might go crazy by the end of it. So I'm excited. Those are most of my wishes, and yeah, that's a good session.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is great. Yeah, I had a fucking phenomenal time tonight. I had such a high from the last session, and I was really excited to dive into this one. And y'all fucking kill it as always. I also just loved that everyone's keys so much. Yeah, I mean, I was locked in and immediately using it as ammunition because why wouldn't I? This is such a more like personal like game, I think. And so I really try to like keep those elements of your past constantly in the feedback loop for the present because hey, nostalgia, it's nostalgic horror is one of the scariest things in my opinion. And so I'm excited to transform everything you give me. But no, I loved it. I positively was so delighted by the interactions with between like Samantha, Everett, and Dahlia, and then Dahlia having her whole thing. Loved the way she interacted with like the librarian. Just just vividly pictured the type of girl she is. Just like knocking on the door, just being like hi, just like mouthing sorry, please can I come in? That was great. I also clocked like Malachi pointed out the sort of development embodiment of Dahlia as a character, and and I'm like, oh, it's like I can just totally picture her in some ways taking after her own hero, Geraldine Ambrose from Muffy the Zombie Killer, just saying in her little faux Valley Girl accent, like, gag me with a spoon, deadhead, and just fully influencing her vocabulary. Um, and I just love to see these characters in play. I love how sad y'all made Samantha's house, and that is great because honestly, the core theme, as reflected by the key name of that mystery, is sadness, and so there is you guys fucking know how to take the assignment and run with it. I also love the feeling of this night phase. Like, this is our first time as a play group doing a night phase that isn't beholden to some timer because we've done the between all around, but this was just a full on no timer. We're just doing the scenes and things happen. And it was really cool. I really liked it. You guys have not found any more Odyssey tapes yet. And so keep having those until you maybe find some more. The only way to find an Odyssey tape is by rolling a 12 plus on the meddling move, or if someone takes the move, the truth is out there to get like another freebie. But don't worry, you won't have to you won't progress the layers of the campaign in the next tape. So, you don't you're not going to be burning through keys necessarily as fast, But on that note, yeah, you will burn through keys a lot. And so this is definitely a game where it's like, ooh, okay, maybe we do choose to back down from this roller. As we saw with, this is my last star, with Eric here in the house being like, I'm not going to investigate that bad smell in the kitchen. I'm going to go do something else. It's like, that may have ended up worse. That was my decision to stay out of the horror movie. And I love that. So yeah, my wishes are, yeah, I want to see just how this group dynamic shakes out. You guys have made it so fucking hard for me to pick mysteries because you keep in all of your keys and all the bits you do throughout the session. I have been taking notes on the side here and highlighting everything that you've said that I'm like, that thematically ties into one of the mystery options. And so I'm just like, oh shit, I have so many mysteries I can run. So I got to figure out what I'm going to run next. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that ends up getting incorporated. But yeah, no, this was just a great session, and I'm so stoked for our next one. Any other stars or wishes?
I did have a question that came to
Mm.
mind when I was up on the water tower with the Wanderer.
Mhm.
The way he was talking about ghosts and stuff, was that like a reference to old ghosts of El Paso,
It was
perhaps?
a multifaceted reference to many things, but yes, I mean, since Ghost of El Paso also exists in the Rindleverse, and is canonical to this game as well. It is
Fucking
also just a
knew it.
reference. It was just also a reference to ghosts in general, just him
Mhm.
speaking cryptic things about spiritual powers. It was also he may have also been alluding towards whatever's going on with Linnea, right? Because he's talking about like spirits and all that, entities feeding off of emotions and all that. So like the big man is saying a lot of things at once, it seems, and making many references. And don't worry, you will get plenty more of the big man or the wanderer, whatever name he goes by. Well, if no more stars or wishes, I'll bring the recording to a close.